Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Asia Esports Festival Online Cross-Border Challenge. I'm going to be your caster today. I'm Kim Tofu, and with me today is none other than Sis Jenny.
Hello, everybody, and yes, we are back for another awesome tournament of PUBG Mobile. And of course, this is a tournament organized by the Gym Esports Center. So if you guys are, following up with the AEF, there's so many events that has been happening, and this is one of them that you should stay your eyes peeled on, because there's a few representatives that is in this lineup today, honestly. So I do want to see them have a standoff with one another.
Exactly, and of course, if you have been playing PUBG all the way, you would know that we have a lot to expect from all the teams. And this is not just from Singapore, this is a cross-border challenge. So we do have people across the region who are going to be competing today. So, what can we expect to see today? What kind of plays are you waiting for?
I think it's going to be a bit tricky because some of these, or I would say most of the players have met each other on the grounds. So they're using this as like a practice tournament, which is a good thing because you want to see the confidence. Because you know when you're on heat, like under pressure, when there's big tournaments, they tend to be passive. But this time, I don't think they will be passive. They will, you know, try to find one another.
Yep, I think this is what's exciting, right?
Yeah.
Well, most of the time, I mean, if the stakes are high and whatnot, you'll be very cautious about the way you approach games. Especially, you don't want to be the first team to be out, especially if there's not a lot of teams playing in the first place. But now you're talking about, it could be, no holds barred. We want to see the moment you land. Let's go for a fist fight, right? Let's not care about the items in the first place. But of course, that's not the so-called proper way to play. We want to look for people who have the proper loot, looking for nice snipes and all things like that. So I think the players are getting ready in the lobby, and I think we should be expecting quite a lot of exciting plays for today.
Yep, definitely. Of course, in AEF, some of these players actually will create a milestone after that. They get recognized, and then they will go all the way up. In fact, a few of them actually started. Most of their competitive scene starts from festivals like this. So, because of the name itself is Asian, it's a cross-border. Knowing that, I would say, I mean, I'm not being biased, but Malaysians sometimes create a big, like a threat to Singapore's players also. So we do want to see that happening. We have like a few in the lobby that is from Malaysia, and we want to see whether our Singapore team is able to take them down.
Yep, I agree. I think this is very important, right? I think, sure, we are casters, but we do play the game as well. So, having the proper experience is definitely vital. And I think, taking part in competitions like this is very important because it lets you learn how to actually play the game, and it's a different style of play, like playing in public lobbies and stuff like that. It's a very casual kind of competition. You're sitting, at home, very comfortable in your seat, wherever you're sitting. Sometimes you might be lying down on the floor and stuff like that. But when it really comes down to proper competition, I think it really builds your character because you are facing a different kind of stress. I'm sure both of us have competed before. I have competed in a couple of titles as well, different genres of games. So I can tell from experience that it's really a different ball game altogether. You might be very comfortable playing, you can hit the snipes when you're at home. It's a very comfortable setting. But now the stakes are raised. This is a chance where you actually can step out into the world and be recognized for what you love to do and are good at as well. So I want to see, can the players from both countries, Malaysia or Singapore, can they hold their confidence? Can they keep that composure and play their best? Because you can be the best when you're comfortable, but that doesn't really matter when it really comes down to competition. It's really whether you can outstress, outthink, and outplay your opponents altogether.
Yep, and with all that said, there are prizes to be grabbed today. So the first prize, of course, it's a handsome reward of $200, and it goes down. So obviously everybody wants to go for the first prize, right? I mean, come on, we want to be first in every way. But it really depends on how they're going to crack their heads later on, because this is no longer practice. Sometimes teams, they'll be like, oh, I'm choking because it's a tournament. Then all the practice time is just a waste, This is the time where they really need to put up the level and show that, hey, this is them. And in fact, some of the gamers didn't sleep yesterday.
Oh, wow. Okay, I think I'm like one of them. So like when it comes down to competition basis, right, I find it very difficult to sleep because I have to mentally prepare what's going to happen, right? Am I going to be put in a stressful situation? Am I going to be in a 4v1, 3v1? If that happens, do I have the resources? Where do I go and loot? Where's the best place to scour around the map? And how should I do my rotations? Stuff like that, right? So there's many things to consider for this. Now, if I'm not wrong, we are ready and the players are ready. So let's take a look at our first flight of the day.
Yeah, we are flying over the beautiful island of Erangel, and we start from Sapnoska and Silkstalba. I think the flight route is pretty okay. It cuts in the middle like I won't say it's in the middle, it's more towards the west side or the east side, I would say. Really depends on where these teams are going to find one another. We don't really have many teams in the lobby, so it's better, advisable for them to all come into the center of the circle.
Yep, and of course, now if you are new to this game, you are uninitiated, don't worry, right? PUBG is a battle royale game, so you actually can choose where you want to drop, right? And as time goes on, you will have certain circles around the map that are safety circles, which will not be damaged, right? The circle will start closing in, and if you're out of the zone, you will slowly die off, your health will be hit.
There you go. A few players are currently diving in, and this is a team from, they're called No Limit. This is a team of Singapore, and it's accompanied by Rizzy Snitch, Kluk, and also Dre Luke. Sorry, it's not the doctor, but it's a Dre Luke. So they are currently going down in the, I would say this is the advanced spots of Erangel, one of the first few places that they can see. So they decided to go down here in school, in fact, so they will start their lootings in this area.
Yep, school is definitely one of the places that has quite a lot of decent loot as well. But personally, I wouldn't go to school. School is known to be a battleground all the way. It's always a bloodbath. So hopefully they don't get eliminated that fast. Let's see what kind of loot they will get and secure for themselves as well.
Yep, I'm definitely looking forward. This is one of the aggressive teams, I would say, Kin. Yep. When they go in scrims, they will look for blood. They are the kind of teams that would crash to other teams. You know, I would say in the lobby, they are the unfavorite team of amongst the rest because this is what they like to do. If you were talking about identities of teams and how they rotate or play, this is one of the teams that does crashes into other people's spots.
Now, you have seen the teams across the games itself. Now, we normally split them into two kinds of teams, right? Teams that play within the circle and teams that play on the outer rims of the circle as well. So, personally, what is your kind of play style? How do you go for the game?
I would prefer to be in the circle actually, because when you are in the circle, you are always safe. You don't really have to, bother about being safe, eaten by the blue. At least you just need to watch out for enemies and opponents that would come in. But it really depends on the IGL and the skills, abilities of each of these players. Especially in PUBG Mobile, there are roles for every player. One of it is like IGL, Russia, Fragger, and then the support. So it really depends. And now we are looking into our first contention. This is coming from Requiem, looking straight into Team 11. And I think Team 11 is actually a Malaysia team.
Yep, so the first regional fight that we're going to be seeing on screen today is going to be Ryby, I'm sure. And it looks like it could be a fatal four-way here because there are 4 teams around the area as well. And I think this has to be very careful for Seal here. Requiem is going to be the first one to scout information for the team. Probably going to land a few nades as well. This is important to push them out into the open areas where you can get the frags for free.
There you go. A grenade has been tossed over to Puma, but Puma already heard that grenade coming from which direction. He definitely would know which area these opponents are coming in. Most of these players are I would say semi-pro or amateur level, meaning because they have been to big tournaments but they didn't get into finals. That's the reason why they're not pro players. But because of that knowledge, that's the reason why you're looking to them not pushing to each other. They are waiting, holding on, but they know exactly the location of where the players might be coming from.
Yep, it's very important because that flank could be very deadly. Bear in mind, this is urban warfare, so there are many angles you can cover. Double-edged sword, right? There's many angles you can hide from, but at the same time, we're going to see our first knockdown here. Sugma is going to be the first one to fall here. Well, probably not going to be dead anytime soon. The teammates are around the area as well, but right now, let's see. Is there anyone? We're going to have the first kill of the game as Raiden is the first one to be taken out of the game. So one team is going to be left with 3 members here. And it looks like for this team of 888, 2 of the members are already down as Kizma takes another kill on one of the members from IMP.
And I thought that was Malaysia. So it's still Singapore versus Singapore. Nasty is trying to finish Sugma, who has been spotted in the drainage system, and it will not be looking good because they have flanked out. You can see in the mini-map how the grey dots, which is actually the team of Mugen, have formed up. They are kind of already squashed in the middle, so they don't know exactly where to go for Team 888. So really unfortunate because they kind of drop in the same area, and of course this is the famous place, Pochinki, another bloodbath like what Kin was saying earlier in school, but also in Pochinki, another one goes down, headshot, a little bit of the damage, trying to finish that up and going to rush, and there you go. Wipe
nice,
out.
That was beautiful, but didn't finish the kill here. Going to be using the med kit to heal up, and I think Nasty is ready for round 2. Let's see if he can actually clean up and finish his food on the plate here.
That was unfortunate for that team. Very early, I would say. It's less than 5 minutes they got back into the lobby. So this is the kind of gameplay they are showing for the team of Mugen, who's currently holding the forts of Pochinki. While all these other teams are getting closer to one another, I don't think it will be anytime soon because we can see like a few of these teams are scattered way in the east side. We're looking into No Limit. Again, this is the team I'm waiting for them to crash because that's their signature move. So I got a feeling they're going to find 4 more teams right after this.
Yep. Yeah, right now they're just getting their members on board on the vehicles. Now the gameplay has definitely changed over the years, and now vehicles are very important. But like I said, there's many things in this game that are double-edged, right? Having the vehicle for transportation is great, but if you land in an open space, you could be liable to have an explosion from the cars. And you know, we've looked at major tournaments, a lot of the teams actually use this strategy against the opponents, and it is quite vital. Now, as the timer goes down, we are slightly less than a minute before the circle will start closing in. And most of the teams are actually on the outer rim of the circle as well. So this could set up a situation where we would be looking at a free-for-all right at the edge of the circle.
Uh-oh, exactly what Kin says. And exactly what we expected to. No Limit is looking for people. They don't want to go and stop for lootings anymore. If you can see, that's exactly the plan for this gameplay for No Limit itself. They went for one spot to loot and that's it. They're going to look for more people. Exactly what they're doing right now. The team that is going to disturb all these other teams. And apparently, now this is right. They are looking for PG VVIP. So this is the only team that is from Malaysia. And No Limit might just meet their first enemy, and not only just enemy, this is someone from across the border.
Yeah, familiar faces for them all. They definitely have played with each other before, and I think this is interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because the fact that they know exactly where they should go and source for PG is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I think they have their number, and let's see. You know, will PG get surprised, blindsided by this sudden flank? Or will PG knock out the competitors from the other region?
Oh no, they made a U-turn. I wish they actually have drove in straight and they could have found themselves someone to fight with. But looking into another team here, we're looking at 4 Rivals SG, Juggernaut, Art and Didi. They are also looking for people because they know, not many people is in the lobby. It's time for them to find people and our opponents to go into crash into one another. is actually the IGL for the team, and some of these names are again quite familiar, especially those of you who are familiar in the PUBG scene in Singapore. These are players, most of them came all the way from Season 1 and they are still playing as of now.
Yep, definitely. Very prominent names, and we might see our first skirmish here as we have a grey team trying to enter into the circle as well, right behind 4RV. And it will be interesting to see them fight it out. I mean, there's still plenty of time, right? This is the first circle, 3.5 minutes and counting before the circle fully closes. So this will be the marker for most teams to start rotating into the circle itself. And we should be able to see teams actually work it out against each other.
I think they have heard or seen each other. Looking at this is at M42, very close by to 4 Rivals SG. Again, most of them are scouting similar places nearby Pochinki. Besides the town being a great loot, there is a hill that is prominently used by players, especially when they're doing their scouting. So it's called the Pochinki Hill. So they are looking for one another. We can see 3 teams stacked there. We can look into Mugen for Rivals and also M42 around this area. I'm very, very sure they have heard. There you go. There's the shot of damage towards Requiem that is bubbling under the hills.
Yep. Now this is gonna be a start of a tense situation here. The standoff. 2 minutes is plenty of time to essentially lock someone out. Yeah, and this is where entering the circle early is going to be a huge advantage for you. And I mean, this is with the fact that there are not as many teams taking part, which means there is quite a lot of open space that you can occupy in the map. And so in this situation itself, having a very good vantage point will be a good thing to have. And right here you can see 4RV, they are just scouting the area, making sure that no other teams are present. This is the best strategy here. If you can lock someone out of the circle, delay them as the timer counts down, it would be a very good advantage.
Doing the scoping in and out for rival Juggernaut with that M4 in hand, trying to seek out for all the teams, and knowing that these are experienced players. They know that, okay, you know what, today we don't have much teams, but they know exactly where to find one another. That's the reason why you're seeing them all in one spot right now. They are so familiar with the terrains.
Bunny.
Shots are fired towards CGR, over towards a team somewhere, which is, I think, it's the PG VVIP. It's a Malaysian team who saw them.
Yeah, I mean, the vehicles make a lot of noise, and I think while it is a very noisy situation to be had, your aim still needs to be pretty much on point to be able to land a nice few shots as well. So I think there was just a bit of damage to the vehicle itself. I think Bunny took a small hit to the face, so it's not too big of a worry at this point.
There you go. So these are the culprits. It's actually M42, not PGVVIP, looking straight into TGR, who stopped by and realized that they have been spotted. So they are utilizing that space first and then probably rotate themselves in. Similarly to M42, who found themselves a small village somewhere and park and hope to see vehicles passing by, because as of now, most of the teams are quite close to one another, but they are waiting for the first mistake to happen. Either one of these teams would make. At the same time, we are looking to the last team making into the rotation, which is SFC, making their way from Yasenaya and going into the current circle.
Yep, and now 7 teams still alive, and the circle is going to start getting smaller and smaller, which means they will start to be compressed here, and we might see a huge fight breaking out. And I don't think it's going to be a one-on-one. It possibly could be at least 4 teams going at it at the same time here. And here we go, the first skirmish after that first team kill is going to be happening. Seal going to be forced to move away here. Requiem, I think, all alone, one of the lone members, straggling at the back to see what other information he can get for his team. Might run into SFC here, and let's see, is this a mistake or not?
Oh, the intense, the heat, and Nasty would probably have seen SFC cutting across the border itself and going towards the direction. So information has been led earlier, and now Requiem is going to chase Juggernaut, who just passed by on a buggy. And now I don't know, Mugen is probably thinking, okay, there's too many enemies, we have to focus on one. So it might be they might lock the targets into Forever, which is the closest beside them.
Yep, the one situation you do not want to place yourself is to be pincered in between teams. Being pincered between one team is already a difficult situation to hold. And now if you take a look at it, they might have to reconsider their positioning, because they are looking at Seal, who's just right in front of them. They do have eyes on Juggernaut here. If they can land this shot, that would be a great start to the fight.
Yep, and Requiem have met his old buddy, who were from the same team before this, but they have gone separate ways. They've seen each other right now. It's up to one another to take the shot, but cleverly being utilized terrains, beat Mugen and 4 rivals. They're using the terrains very well. They know exactly where to peek into, and we can also see Nasty is actually flanking, trying to open up and cordon off 4 rivals.
Yep, like we mentioned before, pincering is a very important and vital skill. Looks like Requiem going to be stuck in a bit of a pinch here, just for that drive. But nonetheless, it should be the circle starting to finally close in, and this is going to force teams to really duke it out to have a very good occupying of space here.
Ooh, and true enough, that was about to happen over in the hills of Pochinki. But you know what? Let's divert attention to No Limit. Apparently today, they didn't find anybody. Maybe probably they are out of fuel, because you know they stopped looking for for any teams. In fact, they were looking around earlier. They are in the east area of Get Car, probably waiting for teams to come in. As we can see, the circle might be favoring into the center portion of the current circle, where it's going towards in the areas of the west currently, and it's in the Get Car areas. And now we can see they are trying to lock down, which is Team Mugen, onto teams for rival. They are at the back. Initially they were in front, and they decided to flank out and decided to come from the back. So this might be a backstep.
Yep, this I think it's Young or Yuno under 4RV. This is a very good play here. It's actually flanking the team and taking and diverting their attention away. So on the back lines, the rest of the team on 4RV is actually trying to pincer in. And you can see Seal is going to be forced to move away here. Nasty and Requiem, they should be caught in the middle of the crossfire, and this is an important decision because they now have to move away from this. They do not want to take this fight now. It is not good to be the second team to be taken out in quick succession.
Yep, it's a
chase.
Yeah, it's a chase right now. It's currently a race and not like a FPS battle. Suddenly it changed the entire concept here. They are so hungry for enemies, and right now, you know what? Never mind, they just leave it behind and going to rotate elsewhere, because they realize that, you know what, there was an opportunity, but you know, kind of moved on within the time limit, and he managed to get out. Imagine he stayed there. He would have been the first one to get out for rivals.
Yeah, but right now, if you take a look at the map, they are actually, you know, just mixing in together, going to be intertwined in the pathing towards the inner circle. And looks like 4RV, they do not want to take this fight, so they will be moving away from the Seal team here. But in the middle of the circle, I think that could be the start of something great for either of these teams inside, as we're going to be taking a look at No Limit, who has M42 in their sights.
Yeah, very, very close. Yeah, utilizing a portion of the Getka Mountains. Not going all the way uphill because you know what, they have already spotted the team here. No Limit is currently in the same sheds, in the same village. They're not rotating elsewhere. They want to target, they want to lock the target, in fact, for M42. But because the places that they have chose, they are not visible. We can see it, of course, because we are on the spectator screen, but they can't see anything except for the greens, the mountains. They have no idea. Probably they have seen movements, but that's the reason probably why we can see Rizzi just going in and out of the house, not progressing as much.
Yep, definitely we have heard the vehicles from 4RV who are approaching towards the center of that second circle as well. So we might see M42 go up against 4RV here. And M42, I think, yeah, they definitely heard this. This could be the first interaction. Juggernaut getting shot at. Not going to land any of the shots so far from Malice, as it looks like, oh, he does catch a glimpse of Juggernaut, but Juggernaut manages to just juke it away. And at this point, the presence has been made known. So M42 showing 4RV that this space is ours and they might have to fight it out here.
Yeah, and it seems like they have been targeted. And you know, with that first few damage, and he managed to ditch. How many lives does he have? He's like a cat, you know, he has been spotted so many times, but it's so hard to bring him down.
Yeah, 4RV, I think that's a wrong description of the name. They should be Infinite RV here. You know, just making sure that they're staying alive, you know, already healing up. And more importantly is they have, you know, made and forced M42 to reveal their location. So they actually have a better sensing of what's going around the circle.
Yeah, they're probably testing waters, going to different areas. They definitely have seen more than one, and this is actually giving information. Yes, No Limit taking advantage among of whatever just happened. They heard the shots, they are confirming the location, and now they are the next one to be locked down. But Snowy getting the first knockout from SFC.
Yep, that was right across the other side of the map here. And SFC, having one member down is not exactly a very huge deficit, but it does work out to be a difficult situation. And on here, we're going to take a look at Team PG first. If we take a look at around, they are around Hospital at this point, and they are fairly quiet. They are the only team so far in this past two circles that have been relatively quiet. Not much action happening.
Ooh.
Oh, they will get shot at though. This is their first skirmish of the game against FSC.
Yep, there you go, Groza straight ahead on towards SFC. One member is already down, so they're left with 3. PG will retain the areas in Hospital, and it seems like again the circle is favoring on towards the west side or the northwest of the current map. And Bunny from Team TGR currently making rotations. Again, a few of these teams are still going on to rotations. They're waiting for the final few circles to happen. That's where we will definitely see skirmish with one another. But still, teams are just making their way. Most of them are on vehicles right now because of the new circle revealing itself. And they will utilize these areas right now.
Oh, it's not looking good for them, but it's going to be super exciting for us because it's going to be 7 teams all within this third circle. And right now, they are going to be circling around Hospital here, and we might see a huge fight. I think one of the members on No Limit is actually down there.
Yeah, I think he had a great fall. Somehow, sprays are happening still, No Limit. Oh, I know what happened because the vehicle exploded by Mugen. So Virgil managed to get the first confirm, and I got a feeling they're going to push right after this.
Yep, definitely, because they're pincer. And the one that got the kill was not from M42. It was actually this team of IMP, which means that this is a very precarious situation for No Limit because they're right in the center of, I think, 3 or 4 teams at the moment here.
Yep, sandwich is never a good thing. Though sandwich is a nice meal, but not in PUBG Mobile or any Battle Royale. Being sandwich is the last thing we want, you know, third parties, fourth parties, all the different kind of parties will come in. In fact, another skirmish we are seeing right now is actually between M42 and 4 rivals. There you go, they are head to head, and now a grenade is going to be tossed into Labo's direction. Didi will get that, but Mal getting the first Kobe on towards Yuno that gone down first.
Oh, Chico. Maybe stepping a bit too far forward here, but for RV, they have looted quite a lot of utility. Here's the first fight, face-to-face, 2v1. It's not going to look good for Juggernaut here, and it is going to be a trade-off though, as Art comes in to save his teammate, and with that, will knock the 2 of them down, should get that double kill in shortly, and yes, they do. But M42, here comes the backup though. Can they clean this up?
Ooh, that was really close because it was a good choice of gun that Art came in. He came with a shotgun. So because of that, it kind of saved the time because these other 2 players were about to push in. And because of that moment, the choice of the gun was very important. We need a gun that is fast enough to eliminate players. And right now, they're trying to push, throwing grenades after grenades. They are tanking the damage. But so far, 4 Rivals is still going to stand out with the fight.
Yeah, for RV, they are in a difficult situation. They are quite low, but they do have the meds to help them keep alive for the team for the time being. And 4-2 though, very aggressive in their push. And you know, like you said, this is a very prominent name.
Yep.
And I think they will do well. All they have to do is to make sure they do not get pincer, because there is another team right around the corner. And like you said,
yep,
sandwich is a nice thing to eat, but
yeah,
it's not something you want to be had in PUBG.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, there you go. Because of this sandwich situation. And they are taking advantage over a lot of things. Team PG VVIP getting information from a lot of the teams that they are seeing right now in their eyes. They are looking into different fights. If you can see in the map itself, the arrows from the players, they are looking into many directions and just trying to test water onto whatever they can see. And that's a Malaysian team.
Yeah, covering the angles here. Malaysia having a very strong front in this first flight, and they're doing really, really well. And 4-2, a bit laid back now. Now that they know there is a sandwich happening, they do not want to be caught in the crossfire as well. Third circle is going to start closing in a matter of seconds, 10 seconds and counting. Oh, for RV, not looking good, Chico! He actually gets it done here, and Didi will be the first one to fall on the side. And it's going to be a one-on-one here, and that will be the end of 4RV.
Oh my god, that push did not happen planned nicely for 4 Rivals. They had to go down in the lobby, though they were the first one to push M42 initially, so that did not happen. But you know what, let's move into the next fight that is going to happen here. No Limit already they have been looking into teams and they have not taken the fight. I'm not sure why they are a bit passive today. Unfortunately, they decide to play a little bit less aggressive, and you know what, they're just going to get information, do a long distance shots, unlike the teams that we saw earlier coming into close contentions.
Yep, it could be unfortunate, right? Like you mentioned, they weren't playing as aggressive as before, and now paired up with that, the fact that they are left with a 3-man squad is going to be even more difficult. So they have to watch their aggressiveness here. They do not want to overcommit and get backstabbed, and that might be the case. TGR looking at the backsides of another team here, as Bunny is going to be scouring the map with that rotation on the buggy as well.
Yeah, TGR has been doing rotations so far. This is usually their gameplay. They are the teams that would do a late game battle. They will prioritize rotation first, like what you are seeing. Bunny probably is a scouter of the team. She's always in front. Uniquely, this team has one lady player, which is Bunny. So the rest of them are all men. So we can see why she's the leader.
Woman power here, and I think that could be the difference maker for the team. TGR, they have been very safe so far. IMP though actually catches a glimpse of Labo, gets him out. And that means M42 is left with just one lone member. And we have seen the surprise comeback stories. Labo going to be finally killed, but M42, no Cinderella story for First Flight, as they will be taken out. The third team to be taken out at this fight itself.
Yep, and that is Mugen, who finally finishes the entire M42. Again, these are the teams that is currently in. We started with 8 and now we are left with 5. Again, most of them are standing strong with one another, and we can see eliminations for Mugen. They have 7 in total, while followed by the rest of them who probably get 1 or 2 or even 3, and some of them back in the lobby already with 4. But this is the current situation. We can see SFC is heavily targeted, now sprays again towards Team TGR, testing the waters whether they can come in, because they have been rotating and currently they are on the hills without any compound.
Yeah, Rezi really being the ego of the team, right? Getting that vision, but right as I say that, he gets shot in the face, going to be knocked down here. I'm so sorry for the caster curse, as Rezi has to be rezzed by his teammate here, and looks like Snitch is going to be the one to try and be responsible for his or her teammate here.
Yep, there was a sniper right smack inside. Again, information from PG VVIP is crucial. They are keeping all this information, not going to let it out, just waiting for the right time. Again, this is already the 4th circle. To be in the blue, it hurts. So all of them got to get in. And this is the 5th circle, and I would say most of the teams are pretty safe. So probably 1 or 2 teams will have a great shift, especially PG and also TGR, while everybody else is pretty safe. They just got to find themselves somewhere to park and bring down one another.
Yep. Normally at this stage of the game, you'll feel that 5 teams, quite a low number, but as the circle closes in, you realize, oh my goodness, it's going to be a bloodbath for sure.
You're right. It's a small circle for 17 players to be all in, and we're going to see a crash. Po Heng going to park his car, targeted into the areas of No Limit, and he's currently at level 2. Will he push? No, he's waiting for his teammates.
Yep, this is a very aggressive push from TGR, not something that we expected based on what they've been doing in the first portions of the game here. And it looks like you know, Rezi is going to be holding up at the top as PG work in progress going to be taken down. Rezi actually got pushed in by IMP, and they will have this bloodfest. It's people dropping left and right across the map. SFC going to get another kill, as it looks like TGR are going to try and finish up No Limit as well. IMP finishes the job, and we're going to be left with 3 teams across the board here. 5-3 in less than 30 seconds.
It's a third party, kid. It's Mugen coming into these 2 teams who just had a contention. No Limit, TGR is here, and also Mugen, who just decided to participate in this fight. So now they have to divert their attention into the team that just came in. And there you go, Kobe from Bunny, the only lady player in the lobby.
Yeah, Bunny doing her bunny hops with that as well. And they are going to be left with 3 teams. You know, at this point, regeneration is very important. Your sustenance, your looting. This is where the late game comes in. Another nice shot here. Bunny, unfortunately, going to be taken out. Poheng going to be burned by the molly here. Going to be forced to heal up. That's a bit of recovery time, as Nasty is going to take the buggy and move out of the way.
Oh, I hope that information has gotten into Poheng, because he's currently doing a very dangerous work. He's the only one pushing, while Mugen are getting ready for this push. They are opening up, leaving Requiem behind for a bait, and they would probably try to cordon off the entire area, and one by one still gets knocked as we speak. Now TGR, without a reset, after the No Limit battle, now they have to focus on towards Mugen.
Yep, Nasty and Virgil doing a very good job of pushing TGR into very dangerous positions. The smokes have been laid down. This is going to block and obscure their view. But right now, Nasty actually catches a glimpse of Bunny. Bunny has to be very careful. The Kobe comes in. Bunny just gets chunked a little bit, but more importantly, they are stranded at this portion as another molly drops, and that's going to be very difficult to fight against.
This is really using very smartly used by Nafi with the Scar ult taking down Requiem, the bait right now. They have gotten 1 person out, but they have confirmed the areas. Now it's battle between of the zones, because these 2 teams are locking one another. Another one goes down, the M4 Virgil seeing one.
Oh, beautiful here. Virgil gets that on his scope as well. They are rotating. Here we go. Oh no! Unfortunate timing on that reload, which means Nasty! Oh no, the crossfire. He has to be healed up, but Virgil doing a good job of trying to play with the vision. Obscured, and here we go. They will be taken down, 2 of them successfully by TGR. And somehow, TGR make it out.
Yeah, somehow, Poheng, the man that is holding on to the team, because of him, the entire team is currently safe. All they got to do and worry right now is actually coming to the circle. But again, this is, TGR had no reset at all, kid. They had the fight with No Limit, Mugen, and then now SFC coming in. At the same time, the zone is closing in onto them.
Yeah, I mean, SFC, this is actually the perfect time to push, right? Stressful situations, just because they have finished a fight TGR, they need to reset, get the heals in as well. SFC, Mei Mei here gonna get a glimpse of Poheng as well, and that's gonna reveal his position at this point. Not sure whether this Mei Mei is a guy or a girl. Mei Mei is Chinese for sister, so it could be a girl.
It could be a girl. It's interesting, isn't it? But SFC is actually a Shibei's team. Now, Shibei is a popular YouTube Singaporean. He has a page, a lot of followers. I think a few millions already. So this is his team. What he does in his YouTube videos is PUBG play style and game style. You guys can check him out. So right now, he's telling everybody that this is how his little juniors are working out. But sprays are happening. Poheng is being spotted, and he will get knocked out.
Oh, Poheng, the MVP for TGR, going to be taken out. Bunny is so low, and it's going to be taken out. That fall is going to be happening. Left with just 1 member, if I'm not wrong, on the side of TGR. This is not looking good at all. SFC could win this first flight all with ease here. They do have 1 member down. It's going to be a 3v2 situation. Could be a 3v1 shortly here.
Yeah, 3v1 indeed. Mario Boy, he is known for the survivalist, so he is able to survive. He's able to take down. He's able to clutch. But the grenade that just got into Mario's boy, and he will get a little bit of the damage. Now, position has been confirmed. They have all they got to do is just push.
Yeah, Mario Boy will be taken out here. That position has been compromised. So SFC going to be your champion here with 8 eliminations. So that's extra 8 points on the board.
Winner chicken dinner.
Yeah.
Though it's not dinner time, it's still lunch, guys. So
soon.
chicken lunch. But SFC, amazing job. All they got to do is rotate and guard themselves and coming into the late game. Also, another tremendous job by TGR, who is known for coming into the late game, and they managed to do it nicely. Unfortunately for them, they had no resets, and also the blue was eating onto them, so they had to be comfortable with the second position.
Yeah, but third place, IMP with a mixture of Nasty and Requiem as well. They have a total of 9 eliminations, which does pull them higher. So they could tie up with TGR at this point because TGR only has 4 eliminations. So we could see a shift in the table. Right now, I think SFC definitely going to be on the top of the table.
Yep.
Any idea and any views on how it's going to turn out based on Flight 1?
I don't know. There could be a change of gameplay. In fact, usually the first game is like a warm-up. So most of the teams that had a too soon earlier, they will definitely feel, you know, the rage. They might come back, oh, okay, you brought me down, I'm going to come back. And that is also for the team.
7, 6.
Hello everybody and welcome back to our Asia Esports Festival and hosted by the Gym Esports Center. And I am Sis Jenny, together with me is Kin.
Hello guys, welcome back to AEF Online Cross Border Challenge, and we have completed our first flight for today. Yep. Now it's time for the second one, and we are going to Sandhook here.
These islands of Sandhook. Oh, actually, it would say we are familiar with this place because it's actually influenced by the Asian region. So some of the names are, you know, like in in Thailand. Some of the names in Malaysia is already in this map called Sandhook. Of course, in Sandhook, what do you expect?
I expect very fast games, very brutal deaths, because it is a very open map nonetheless. And of course, based on my own experience of playing, I mean, it's not the map that I want to play, but it's the map that I want to cast, right? When I take a look at it, it's one of the best games to cast because it's a very open playing field. And of course, the loots are, I mean, the RNG is pretty straightforward for Sandhook itself. And I like the fact that there's a lot of open areas to fight.
You're right. Yeah. The heavily areas is forested with trees and all these things, so a whole lot of snakes in the ground. So
definitely.
There will be a whole lot of that, you know, where people try to not see one another. But it really depends because today the algorithm of the game is a little bit different with not many teams. So what we saw earlier was teams looking for one another, and some of these teams are actually passive. So it's a mix of two teams. So probably the teams that were going around elsewhere in the previous map, they would try to be passive at this time.
All right, so based on Flight 1, what would you think is the proper strategy? Would you look for opponents to go for, especially with a map as open as Sandhook, or would you prefer to lay back and wait for that closer circle to get things done?
I would actually look for people because looking at there's not many teams. You know, these teams, when they practice, they are so used to with 20 or 16 teams in the lobby, and today we have half of that. So actually they can just go around and, you know, find for people. But you know what else is ready? The standing. So let's take a look into who is number one right now.
Yep, none other than SFC. They won that winner chicken dinner in Flight 1, so they will be at the top with 23 points. And of course, Blur Sorong, they will get 16 points, and 42 very close back with 8 points as well. And I think the list goes down. Now, 4 rivals, they were eliminated quite early in the game, and they were the first one to be taken out actually. But they have secured a 5th placing out of the 9 teams that are playing, which I think is quite impressive.
Yeah, right. But you know what, Kin, I think there's a bit of an error. Mugen is actually at number 2 because they had 10 and 10 plus 8 is actually 18. So Mugen would be number 2, SFC number 1, Blur Sotong is at number 3. Yeah, so probably that was a bit of an error, but don't worry guys, we will fix it, not to worry. Though this is the scoreboard for the teams to know what is their target after this, because scoreboards is really crucial for them to, you know, look into what they want to get right after this map, because we still have 3 more maps to go.
Yep, exactly. And I think, you know, kills are very important. So far we have seen that the kills are going to be kind of filtered, you know, into 1 or 2 teams so far. So I want to see a more even playing field. I think I understand the concept of looking for teams to go and find, and I think it's very important because at that point, that's where you can kind of salvage the situation. Even if you don't finish that well within the the 9 positions available, at least you can make up that deficit with a couple of kills as well in the books.
You're right. And of course, to be looking forward is the prizes. We have number 1, the first prize will get $200, and that's the only thing they need to aim for all these teams. So obviously we have number 2 and number 3 and number 4 if I'm not mistaken, but why not go for number 1?
Yeah, but I mean, that's the point of competition, right? You're gunning to win it all, $200 in your pocket. Who doesn't want that, right? So all of these teams now are going to be very motivated for sure in our second flight. Sandhook, once it's ready, we will get it kick-started. Now, so far, I mean, we've taken a look at the teams that are playing, and I think the rotations around the map. Sandhook, will we be looking at more vehicle rotations or on-foot rotations?
Mostly in Sandhook, teams will not be actually on vehicles. They will go by foot. But I won't be surprised if actually they decided to do and change the meta at least for today because of not many teams being in the lobby. So probably they will go into drop areas. The hot spots are probably boot camp and paradise. You would probably see a few contentions here and there. but also we probably might see some teams that is trying hard or try hard teams, you know, the gamers meta or the way the lingo that we speak, that will go for passive gameplay and they will want to have that bragging right of that #1 spot.
Yep, exactly. And I think based on what we have seen the teams achieve so far, most of these teams, they are quite clinical in their finishing, right?
Yeah.
So when actually they get aggressive, it's an either or, it's the extremes, right? Either you instantly get knocked out, as you've already seen, like TGR, there was a moment where they had one of the members that went into the buildings and immediately got shot at. Or it could be catching them blindsided. So it really is a game of cat and mouse here. We'll see who is more prepared. I think at this point, it's really about how prepared they are and what angles they're covering. Because like earlier in the first flight, you were mentioning that most of the teams, when they cover the angles, they really look at all 4 directions.
Yeah, right.
And that is the gameplay that we're looking for. Of course, this is a competition, different, right? Public games, you don't get that kind of professional level. You don't have them looking in different directions. They'll be looking at the same place and it's like, oh, I'm looking at this place. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the same place as well. So we might see, some of the teams, maybe they're better prepared in this second flight. We want to see if they are going to be blindsided, and at this point, like you said, going on foot is important. I think Sanho is too open of a map for you to really drive around with a noisy vehicle because it creates too much attention, and it will place you in that sandwich, like we mentioned before. Flight 1, you do not want to have a sandwich in PUBG.
Yeah. True. So a whole lot of these teams that has, probably revenge on one another on the previous fight that we saw, they would take it out in Sandhawk, or we could see the meta that has been going on in Sandhawk is actually healing. So what they do is they go around the map, they take the first 8s, as many as they can, and then wait for the final few circles to just heal and heal and heal, while the 3 members will go out to do whatever eliminations that they can, while 1 member is there to heal. And that itself will give them survival points and kind of push them up in the scoreboard.
Yep, definitely. So hopefully we'll see what kind of gameplay these teams are looking at. And I mean, we are talking about a regional gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Cross-border challenge nonetheless. So there will be very differing styles in terms of how they think they can achieve victory in this game, how they can get to eat that winner chicken dinner out of all the teams that are participating. And of course, like you seen in Flight 1, we have, I think, 9 teams that are competing. So we might see them survive quite a while, all the way until maybe the 4th or 5th circle, and that's where the action really starts to pack in.
Yeah, you're right. So it really, again, also by lootings, I realized just now in the previous mapkin, a few of these teams actually go for the airdrop guns.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think Requiem was with his AWM, and then someone from PG VVIP had the Groza. So this is also an advantage for these teams, especially the first few circles. They go for the airdrop because not much of a contention or enemies is scattered around as compared to normal lobbies where we have 16 or 20. So an advantage for them to be using these airdrop loots is actually a bonus point, because airdrop loots is more painful in the sense of the damage, and the recoil is much better. So this is in a way for them to take advantage. On normal occasions, they can't even chase it. The moment you go into an airdrop, everybody will have their eyes on whoever that is in the airdrop. So this is actually a good advantage for them.
Yeah, we could see a shift in it. Like, I want to see if they really take notice of what you have just mentioned, and perhaps it could be a vital, contention point that everyone's going for.
Yeah, right.
Or we could go back to the style of Flight 1 where everyone's kind of like, we'll mind our own business, and once we are ready, we'll start looking for each other.
Yeah. Apparently, a few of these teams are playing like that today. They are waiting for the last game, end game fight, and then they would come out to look for one another. But then again, Zone is not going to be looking great for them, especially when it comes to circle number 4. And Sandhawk is relatively the smallest competitive map. We have other smaller maps like Livik, etc., but it's not a competitive map. So usually for tournament format, we will be using Sandhawk, and because of the size of this map, that's the reason why it's one of the hardest to play. But like me and Kin, we like to cast this map.
Yep, exactly. It makes things much easier for us and much more straightforward. But I think the status of the game will really depend on the first few circles itself. I mean, if everyone decides to really go into the looting phase, like let's just ramp up our equipment, our utilities, then everyone will be going towards the late game, because that early game aggression only works if you get the kill in the early game, right? And if that's the case, then we could be looking at maybe 6 or 7 teams in the final circle, the 5th or 6th circle all the way. And I'm hoping to see, I want to see a mix, right? We definitely want to see aggressive play, but we also do not want people that are overly crazy where they kind of just go in and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And I doubt that people will play as such unless it's really do or die situation. And we're just in the second flight of the day.
Yeah,
so
right.
I don't think the desperation will kick in yet.
Here we go. We have flew over the land of Sandhawk. 3 archipelagos into 1 island, and looking at it, we've got few teams are dropping in. Flight route is going towards all the way north. It's Camp Alpha all the way to Camp Bravo, and we're looking at No Limit probably would go in their normal drop spot, which is Ruins, and 4 Rivals would go into Tambang, etc. for the rest. Though the teams and the drop spot that we want to look at is actually Boot Camp and Paradise, because these two is actually hot drops. So who is actually going to take up the battle over in these areas?
Yep, and added with that, we are looking at a couple of teams that are already dropping in the same location. So we might see some early aggression for many of these teams here. We're going to have our eyes on Poheng from TGR first. And let's take a look at Camp Bravo. This is the area that's nearby. And let's see what kind of loot they will have on their hands. Very, very confident that we might have a very huge elimination battle right off the bat.
Yeah, definitely. But I hope they have learned their lesson. And so far, a few of these teams, they decide not to crash onto each other's compound. So everybody will have their looting space respectively. So nothing to worry about. You can see Tambang apparently is visited by No Limit. So I'm not sure exactly where 4 Rivals is at. This is usually their drop spot.
Yep, I think they might have noticed that they dropped a bit earlier, so this could be one of the reasons why they do not want to contest in this area. But on the bottom left side of the map, that is where we're interested, because that's where I think 4 of the teams have dropped around the area.
Oh, and you know what? We probably would see more than one contention, early battles. This is areas of Cow. We have 2 teams, M42, SFC, and the previous area in Tambang, we've got No Limit 4 Rivals. So there's 2 teams here. You're going to take each other's eye, and they can hear each other's footsteps. You guys can hear that. And I think Toki here will get information, try to cook the net, and throw into the building right in front of him.
Yep, Toki going to be the one responsible for scouting information. You can see getting the energy drink as well. Now, it will be tremendous for them to get a kill and eliminate SFC right off the bat. SFC, who are the champions of round 1, flight 1. That could really shake up the table if you can get the champions out.
Yeah, definitely. So what's happening right now is they are doing a TPP mode. TPP is third party play, and they are listening to the footsteps. So in PUBG itself, sounds crucial, and then over in the player screens, what they can see, obviously they don't see the dots. They can actually hear, and sometimes the visualization of the footsteps is being seen like a red footstep on the map. So that itself is giving them a huge clue onto where these enemies are at.
Yep, exactly. And of course, our first restriction of the area is going to be happening in 2 minutes. That's quite a lot of time, plenty of time for people to just scour and make sure they get the correct equipment, whatever that's available and suitable for the early game. So it looks like we don't have this very early aggression. It was more of scouting of information, so knowing about the presence of the other team. None of the teams so far have made the decision to really go all in yet.
I'm about to see a push here, and this is coming from Shab towards Juggernaut. He's keeping his steps. None of them is calling his teammate to back up. This is really a 1v1 affair. They are waiting for each other to make the steps here, and both of them are using the same kind of gameplay. They are using their minds, playing with the mental a little bit, hearing and seeing their footsteps on the screen. They have to... Wow, that was close.
Yep, just missed it there. Juggernaut sidesteps and going to be moving up to a higher vantage point. Is this going to be a problem for Sham? That's the question here. But I don't think they want to take this fight right on yet, because we do see a third team around the corner. Not exactly very close, but it could change the entire fight altogether, because Rezi, if he decides to step in this 1v1, it's going to be disastrous for the rest of the team. Kapok here though.
Backup. PG VIP has called some backup here, and I don't think Juggernaut is anywhere near for a team callback, because his team is actually way up north over in Ruins. So they have to go through No Limit in order to save Juggernaut. But this could all change if Juggernaut is able to do a clutch, if he's able to bring down 2 of the players from PG VIP, plus the rest of them is coming towards here. I'm not sure how many backup they're going to call for one player.
Well, the saving grace, I guess, for Juggernaut is that Kapok has no idea where Juggernaut is. He only has the information from a teammate that someone is around the area.
I don't know. I just don't want to be in Juggernaut's position if I were him right now. There are two teams right stack on towards his area. You know what? No limit. I think they're going to do their signature move, which is actually trying to find people. That was really quite minimal of looting. Less than 5 minutes and they are already out of their looting areas, going to look for more. Because I think when they drop in, they did manage to see a few parachutes around this area. So they have a clue there's more than one teams around this particular area. At the same time, they are trying to rotate into the map, into the circle that is already shown us, which is all the way to the east.
Yep, unfortunate for the three teams here because the circle is all the way at the other side. So they're going to have to fight it out first. There is no way, I presume, that they will make it out of this unfazed and unscathed, because the way that they have positioned themselves, they have to interact with each other before they even step into the circle.
You're right. Possibilities of them surviving in this fight obviously is a whole lot, but I don't know why, which is actually a good thing for us, the casters, because the teams are actually very close to one another. Usually lobby, when we don't have many teams, they will try to play as far as possible and we have nothing to talk about, but today they are so close and I think they will have their early fights anytime round.
Yep, and more importantly is they know the existence of each other, so they're prepared for a fight. We will not see any one-sided or blindsided plays where they actually get caught off guard. SFC, the champions of Flight 1, they do know that M42 is around the corner, but more importantly, there is another team which they have set their sights on. Mimi here, one of the first members, unfortunately, to be taken out in Flight 1 from their team. Looking like it's a better chance, still surviving, but bear in mind, this is just the first minute or so.
Yeah, it's just the first few minutes. Teams are all going to flank in, and I'm very sure SFC has already a clue that 888, unfortunately, is going to be one of the first few teams to have that early contention. Maybe it's because the place that they used to, they choose, because before this, they were in Pochinki, a hot drop. And right now, they are in Paradise Resort, which is also a hot drop, and it's going to be heavily infested by all these teams visiting, passing by. They will definitely look into Paradise to see if there's a team inside.
Yep, 888, they will be a bit more precarious about their positioning because N42 is around the corner as well. I mean, N42 and SFC, they know about the existence of each other's presence here. But whether 888 knows this is another question altogether, because like you said, Paradise Resort, a bloodbath arena, possibly it could be the first skirmish we have in Flight 2.
Yeah, look at this guy. He's TPPing all the way in. Half of his head is through the wall. And you know, actually, this is a bad, I wouldn't say it's a bad bug, but you have to be wary, be careful, because sometimes when you lean too close to the wall, what happens is opponents is able to see your head popping out. So you're giving a clue to exactly where you are towards whatever and whoever is watching you.
Yep, so I think they might have heard you.
Yeah, I mean,
so
come on.
Puma is just going to step away and step to the side at this point. So far, no shots have been successfully fired by any of the teams that we have so far.
There you go, visitor.
The first one.
Knock, 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 and going to throw it. No, it's not. Oh, he tanked the damage. Aye, but Toki, that's a good eye. He was just trying to finish it.
Yep, he will go for it, and here we go. The first one to be knocked down, unfortunately, is going to be Raiden from Team 888, and Toki gets that kill credited to his name.
Ooh, now to look for more. Again, it's Team 888. They really need to up the strats here. I mean, initially they were the first team out for the first map, and it's going to be demoralizing if it's going to be the same team that is going to be out of the lobby. I hope they have a backup plan, you know, plan B on how to play out and not getting themselves out to the lobby as the first team. But as we see right now, M42 is actually looking for more information as they cover these areas to find the rest of them.
Oh, PG though, Sham going to be the first one of 4, followed by YB here, and that is going to be a kill on the two of them. So 4 rivals coming back with a vengeance from Flight 1 here.
That was a 3 knockout from 1 player. Juggernaut took 3 players of PG VVIP while the rest of them is going to come in, leaving Capo. I'm not sure if this guy is here. He might be AFK. Yep. So they're just going to find, and unfortunately for PG VVIP, they will get eliminated. There you go, wipe out, back to lobby. But that is going to get 4-2 versus 3-4-8. What's going to happen? Now one is knocked out, going to finish it with the rest, while the rest of them is still alive. I think there's 2 more players of 888, right?
Yep, but that was beautiful damage limitation from the side of backing each other up. We're going to see the next few shots happening as well. SFC, the champions, going to take out Virgil from IMP. So it's going to be a tough situation for them as we take a look at Ping Ping or Double I here, as they will go for that airdrop.
Airdrop indeed. but we are seeing a few contentions here and there. But you know what? That's the end of Mugen. SFC, the first champions for the first map, is going to show their signature, and they are going to go for another fight. They are going to push into M42 next, right after that fight.
Yep, SFC keeping this momentum from Flight 1, and you know they are feeling good about themselves. And for M42, all of the members are pretty healthy at this point. They have healed up. Now it really is to see who is going to get caught. And like you mentioned, I think yes, it is true. So 888, we have 2 members left. I made out, I mean Puma is one of them. I can't see who's the other one. And oh, SFC already has a ghillie suit here. Oh, that surprise fire though. Toki gonna get a nice kill for himself as he knocks down Ping Ping, the second member, first member actually, to be knocked down on the side of FSC. But SFC, I think they are very comfortable with this. They have the knowledge of where M42 is, and unfortunately will not be able to cover their teammates, so they're gonna be a 3-man squad at this point.
Yeah, but information definitely has been given for SFC, giving a heads up, and that's a trade by Monkey towards Toki, who took out the first player of SFC. So SFC right now, they will try to flank up back, and as we speak, M42 is heading their way towards down. So this is actually a good contention. They don't have to go in the compounds of Paradise to find one another. They are all in the open. It really depends who gets on towards each other's eyes. And you know what? Monkey would have already seen one person earlier.
Yep, exactly. And I think SFC, they're in a prime position to get things done. On the other side, the flip side, we're going to take a look at TGR, who's still on the outskirts of this first circle that's closing. Most of these teams, they are pretty safe and sound so far, because I mean, it's a first circle, it doesn't really hurt that much. But more importantly is getting the correct loot. Like you mentioned, we could be looking at that deadly heal strat.
Yeah, which I think the teams are not prepared, because this is a normal lobby, so we don't really have a boosted healing stuff. But again, it's their decision making. I'm not sure who actually took out somebody over in the other side. I think that was M42 versus SFC.
But the return kills.
Yes, it's a trade currently. I don't know who is leading, and it seems like Labo is already down. It might be SFC taking the entire kill. It
could be, because right now, although we're looking at TGR, we know that the action is happening elsewhere on the map, as it looks like, SFC. Monkey, I think, responsible for getting the information. 2 of the members are really down and low. Oh! Mal here going to be taken out as well. What a beautiful shot by Monkey. Last member.
And Chico will try to take the pride for M42. Will that be happening? Because Monkey currently did not whiff a single shot. All his shots are pretty deadly. Wasn't a spray, just a tap. And he is still on towards this powerful airdrop gun. This is the MG gun, where it gives great damage not only to human beings, or sorry, to players, but to vehicles even. With just a few shots, the entire vehicle will get exploded. So you can imagine what kind of damage will it be. It will give to a player instead.
Yep, and if you look at the players for POV here, Chico gets a nice one, but that 2v1 works out in favor of SFC, and the champions will continue making their mark in the second flight.
Wow, SFC really showing their strats up today, but 888 a bit passive. They got information, but they decided, you know what, it's okay. We're going to bail out. We're going to try to flank another way in. It's a little bit too late for them to interfere, because it would have given enough time for Team SFC to do a reset, and they will come back up. And apparently Kizma here will get information on what he wants to seek out from.
Yep, like I said, this is one of our favorite maps to shoutcast on, and the reason why is, look at it, it's just the third circle and we already have 5 teams left. You know, this map is significantly smaller than the other maps available in PUBG, and here you can see Puma actually gets a glimpse of Monkey, so they could potentially take out the champions from Flight 1.
Yeah, probably that too. And yep, again doing that TPP move. Probably will just wait for the last few circles to participate for Team 888. We can see what Puma is doing. He's just going to play a little bit, exercising the fingers, because some players, you know, when they don't have a battle, they tend to jiggle, and that's actually a habit, a norm for most of these players. Not just PUBG Mobile. I'm very sure Keen will agree with me with other game platforms. You know, when they are mobile gamers, when there's nothing to do, they tend to do the jiggle with their fingers.
Yep, that's right. It keeps your hands warmed up, and so if there is a surprise change in the situation, you will be able to react accordingly. Now, more importantly is that the 4th circle will start to appear in a matter of seconds, 40 seconds and counting, as we look at the 5 teams that are still alive and well.
Oh, yep. All these teams are alive and well, and they are going to... Oh, you know what? Four Rivals got the circle and now currently being joined with No Limit. They were initially the team that didn't get any of the circle, and finally they got themselves inside. So that's a luck, I would say, as of now. And they are still meeting up with the same team that they initially dropped together over in Sambang, and this is No Limit. And advantage-wise, I got a feeling it's No Limit because of the vantage point, as the rest of Four Rivals is currently down in the gutter.
Yeah, Four Rivals, I think very strong position that they are in. If you take a look at Art, level 3 utilities on the body, helmet, backpack, as well as that vest. Very beautiful. So Four Rivals, I think, in a much better position. A huge swing. Flight 1, they were at the bottom, and now they potentially could take the whole thing.
They decide to push out. But you know what? Who's actually consistent, Kin? TGR.
Yeah, they are.
They're so quiet, but they will come out like, hey, we are here, guys. You've forgotten about us. So that's just probably their strats, their tacticality that they choose, and it's working very well. If you can see, Mario Boy is pretty much separated very far from his current teammates. So I think that's something that they're building up.
Yep, this 3-1 strat has worked perfectly for them in Flight 1. So I think they will repeat this process as well. And if you take a look at what he's looting, Mario Boy, level 3 helm, level 3 vest, backpack not as strong, but I think 33 healing bandages. 33 times of bandages and 8 healing kits.
Yeah, so a few teams here is still going to try to do the healing, even if the loots are not as amazing. Though, I would like to see the doctors of the game. You know, we can actually look into some of these players and we know who are the doctors, or actually we call themselves the healers. So they are the ones that will be carrying most of the first aids and doing that last
Oh wow, what was that?
Come on, Poheng.
Yep, sustenance is the name of the game probably for TGR here, as we will have that fourth circle starting to close in, that final closing in with the remainder of 20 seconds or so. Now, we're back in that similar situation, right? 5 teams, and we'll see who is the one to make it out in this bloodbath skirmish. Puma 888 together with Kizma, they are the remaining hope for their team. The remaining 2 members here, perhaps they could get that miracle play in.
Yeah, they are just going to get each other's back, and equipped with a shotgun, which is the current meta, and also an assault rifle M416. They're just going to wait for the last few minutes, because you know what, they are the only members alive and they don't have a booster at all, because you know some of these teams, as compared to like SFC, they have 2 members left, but they already got elimination points. That itself is kind of bring the morale up for players, but as compared to 888, they currently have 0 elimination points and they are left with 2 members. So as a player, it's normal to feel passive, right?
Yep. But now, you can't be passive anymore, because the 5th circle has appeared. It's just slightly north of where the previous circle is at. And now, 4 Rivals, they are no longer within the circle. They have to be very careful about their positioning. More importantly, now the game has changed, because TGR and SFC in a much better position. Prime position to, you know, make their stand, occupy the space safely, and get information, because Kizma and Puma, they might not like what's going to happen in the next few seconds.
I know, right? And you know what? I think Mario Boy kinda had a clue to see them. That's the reason
he's
why
already looking there.
Yeah, he's trying to do a TPP, trying to see a slight movement from the players of 888, but I think they themselves already know the fact that there's definitely a team in front of us, there's a compound, so they got to be very careful, but I'm not sure how careful and how long they can last in the grounds as snakes.
I think at this point of time, the most important thing is to hear for the sound cues, right? Because if someone is fighting, I think this is the perfect situation to start making a sandwich.
Yeah.
And that's where everything can go wrong if you're not in control of the sandwich.
Yeah, and I'm not looking forward for this, honestly, because unfortunately for AAA, again, they definitely need a morale booster, but currently they are not getting any as of now. But now, just looking into teams again, none of them got the circle. Everybody got to do a little bit of the shifting towards this current circle, and the one that is kissing the current borders of the circle is actually No Limit, and they are still with 4 men in line. So I think in the sense of manpower advantage and time itself, it's pretty much okay. But I'm hearing vehicles though. Somebody is using a vehicle somewhere for TGR. Yep, there you go.
Here we go, first few shots fired here, as it looks like Kizma might be the first one to get that knockdown. He is going to be taken down to the floor, but No Limit, Dre Luke, not going to be surviving as well, taken down by SFC here, and Mario Boy, he gets his eyes on Monkey. Can he get the kill though? Oh, whiffs a couple of shots, but that was the best chance. They could take out the champion. He still has eyes on Monkey, but the circle is closing in as well. Mario Boy forced to reposition. This is a very painful circle. Heal strats.
Very, very painful circle. Teams have to do a heavy shifting inside. Forever Art getting dropped lay. And he's going to go for more. Mario Boy is going to be gunned out from two different angles. You know we're going to get Mario Boy going down. Now TGR, unfortunately, even with the vehicle, they didn't get to come in on time. So they have to be eliminated out. Forever's got over the position that you know is also kind of eaten by the blue.
Yeah, but 4 rivals, they have managed to get a couple of kills. Unfortunately, you know, No Limit, another member down here as for rivals. I think they're left with 3 members here, but DD is pretty low.
Oh, but Forever's Juggernaut, who tried to do the healing game and not enough heals at all, he is also currently knocked out of the circle. But you know what? Forever Art and DD is the only one that is alive. The one that got the circle is SFC. How smart is that?
Yep, SFC. I mean, they have this momentum from the first flight itself, and it's going to get even more tense because 4 rivals, they are playing the healing strat, they are getting that down. But oh, a nice nade there, and Art suffers the damage from that. And who is left? 3 teams. 3-way fight with SFC already in the middle circle. They're holding this, they have to occupy this, but it is just Monkey, a one-man army against the rest of the members on the other teams. No limit here. Oh, he gets Resi though, and Monkey, he is going to be forced to sidestep because the molly is dropped down on the rock. Oh, 1v2, can he do it though? Monkey, he's so close, he's pincered in between. This is not the sandwich he's looking for. And with that, Art going to take it out here as No Limit Resi going to be taken out by the zone as well. So it's going to be a 2-on-2, I presume, because No Limit, but they're stuck on the outside of the circle. Is this heal strat going to work out for them though?
I don't think that healing is enough because it's going to be too painful for circle 7. In fact, it's already circle number 8. I have no idea how many first aids has No Limit got. Maybe we could change to see how many more he's left with because there's no chance for him to come into the circle at all. He's just doing a healing. We can see how many first aids he has. So no more. That's enough.
Oh, he's going to try and land some shots on Art. This is a high risk, high reward play, and it's not going to work out as the match is going to end. Now, the tables have turned. It's 4 rivals that are at the top of the table.
Yeah, a winner chicken dinner awarded as they kind of finished the game. With a kind of luck, they got to push themselves inside, coming in the right timing. But not to forget No Limit, who came kind of safely under them, going on towards the high reigns. But still, the champion of the first map is still in the top 3.
Yep, SFC, and it's going to be a heartbreaker for the rest of the teams because Monkey, if you take a look at his eliminations, he has 10.
I know, right?
That's a total of 12. So all of the kills have funneled into the top 3 teams. 10, 12 for SFC, and 4 rivals, they have managed to get themselves 9. But that's good, right? So from the bottom all the way to the top.
I think right now we can actually see an MVP.
Yeah.
I want to see that MVP player. Now looking at it, I'm definitely seeing, and we would definitely say it's Monkey getting that 10 elimination points. Crazy, crazy work.
Yep, exactly. And of course, you know, we will get the 3rd flight started as quickly as possible. But let's reel in from the action of flight 2. Right? This is different. Like I actually thought TGR had a good chance. They played the same strat. They went in. They got close. They got really close. And they just couldn't finish it.
I think the giveaway was actually they were on the vehicle and the circle was pretty small.
Yeah,
so everybody looked the moment Pohing started to drive. He got sprayed and the rest of them were trying to come into the circle. So unfortunately, that could have come in a different kind of closing. Maybe they could have moved in a little bit earlier with the vehicle as the circle is not as painful. But because they moved together with when the circle is still painful, so eyes were on them. A whole lot of teams were spraying. There was there was No Limit. There was also SFC that is coming to spray. So yeah, there's a lot to say.
Yep, I mean SFC, I think they have figured out the formula, at least for this number of flights, right? They have this formula where they're winning and they're getting the kills as well. Monkey, of course, the MVP for me, 10 kills in the entire game. And along with that, I think the way they have positioned themselves, you could call it RNG, but I think if you have played PUBG long enough, there are certain markers as to where you should position yourself to have a higher chance to land in the circle, and they did that perfectly in the 2nd flight.
You're right. they definitely kind of got the synergy together. We can also see teams having synergies, and some of them are, they are still like getting to know one another on how they kind of move. So in that way, the blessing is disguised for some of these teams that we saw earlier. So we definitely want to see what's going to happen in the third map, which is actually the biggest map of all, Miramar. So hopefully the teams will still, do what they did, because so far they have been coming close to one another, and that gives us a whole lot to talk about. But if, let's say, they decided to, drop elsewhere, then we are going to be ready for that. It's going to be very long.
I think based on what's happening so far on the first and second flight, it looks like these teams are looking to be quite aggressive. Because like we said, right, we have the different types of playstyles. We have teams that like to enter the circle early, and then we have the outer ring teams. But more importantly is that these teams understand the fact that it is a small number of teams, and this is the best chance to actually get hyper-aggressive and probably not pay too high of a price for that particular action itself. And based on what we have seen from some of the members across the different teams, we know they're very clinical, we know that they are prepared, they have the experience. So playing aggressive actually makes sense for them, because they can definitely finish the food on the plate.
Yeah, I really hope that they will still go on aggressive, even though it's going to be a long map later. I'm not sure if it's a good time for a quick break, or should we, keep on peeling on things. We can just, wait for that to happen, and then honestly, there's going to be a change in the scoreboard. So
we will definitely see a shake, right? At this point, SFC, they have gotten third, but I don't think they'll fall off too far from their top position across the tables. But more importantly, I think at this point, maybe let's explore a little bit about Miramar. Miramar, one of the biggest maps. I love the map, and I love to scour and get loots as well. So depending on the different type of map, my playstyle is kind of different. So the bigger the map, the more passive I'll play, because there is a very high chance that you actually get pincered in by many of the different teams from many different angles, right? So at this point, how would you play Miramar? Would you go for a passive style? Because this is a very huge map. And if you take a fight too early, you are potentially exposing yourself to many different teams at the same time.
You're right. I would agree with you also. Being passive is actually a good thing. Though, I would go for vantage points, because Miramar is made by a whole lot of tall and high mountains. So, for teams to actually do a long distance shots, this is where they show off their sniper skills, or DMRs that is available in the game itself. So, I'm not surprised to see many teams carrying that gun later on. As compared to, like we saw in Erangel and also Sandhawk, there was this meta of shotgun and an assault rifle. Because of that CQC, close quarter combats action, and they need to eliminate quickly. As compared to Miramar, it's more of like a long distance shot, and now knowing that there's not many teams, so I got a feeling they're going to utilize that vantage point to drag a little bit more time, because it's going to be their second last map.
Yeah, exactly. And to add on to that, I think utilities is going to be very important. If you take a look at the professionals that play across the map in the World Series, Miramar is one of the maps that is very vital for you to have smokes, because that covering and obscuring of vision is going to be very important. We know that people are going to be looking for sniper shots, the long distance shots as well. So having a good vantage point is one, but to secure a better victory as well is also to be able to utilize the smokes at the correct areas and correct time. And this is also a map where it's very problematic, because it's such a huge map. You have to have vehicles to traverse whatever that you need to go to. And that sets up the situation where you have the vehicle explosions. And that's one of the killer points across the game, right? You will see teams start to huddle up, they hide in smoke, and they try and get the work done. But at the same time, most of the other teams will just spray down that particular area. And that's where you have the explosions, and potentially one big explosion, everyone dies.
Yeah, and that's a bonus point where everybody goes in one vehicle. Though for me, I don't really see many teams using one vehicles anymore, unless it's last few circles. Now it's like all of them will get into one vehicle each, and at maximum, if there is a spray that is about to occur, they would probably get one elimination point. So because they have upped their gameplay, different kind of strats, different kind of meta would be in this gameplay currently. But though we definitely want to see how they are going to come in together. And plus, the last circle is the key, because there's this area in Miramar, it's called La Bandida. I hate that area. Wait, I don't want to curse PUBG Mobile. It's the best game ever for me. But that area, you know why I hate it? It's designed like a bowl, and it's down in the gutter. So imagine if the circle ends there, and the people on top, they're going to win. You're going to see people walking from the bottom, and they just got to do is shoot. It's like little ants, like literally. That is a nightmare if a circle were to be ending in La Bandida.
It's a target board. So essentially everyone, is free for all. They open fire for you. and you're going to be sitting duck at that point. So right now there's a couple of things that we will be expecting players to do. First one is to get as much loot as possible, especially the utilities, right? And having a sniper rifle is definitely going to be key and vital as well.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I think vehicle advantage is something that we need to take care in this game. So denial of vehicles is number one. And then following that, of course, if you can't get the vehicles, then take it away, right? If I can't have it, you can't have it as well.
Yes, you're right. And it's crucial to have it in Miramar as it's one of the biggest maps. They need to maneuver around this map. It says, you know, sometimes from one circle to the other circle is as much, the amount would go like 3,000 meters. And that is very, very far, guys, especially if you're on foot. If I were that player and I know that I'm like 3,000 meters away from the safe zone and it's already the fourth circle, I would just, you know, let the zone eat me up.
I'm glad they don't have stamina bars in this game, because if you have a stamina bar, imagine if you have to traverse like 3,000 meters or 3,000 meters. You have to run and you have to maintain your stamina. That is going to be a killer.
I know, right? Yeah. So it's really amazing on how we are going to see later on what the kind of gameplays that we would see these teams is going to display for us. So far, we have yet to see some of the dominating teams. There is a few teams that is quite dominating when it comes to the, you know, like the killer bots elimination points. So you know what, let's look into the scoreboard and let's see which team is showing us the elimination point.
Oh wow, okay, it's still SFC here at the top of the table with 45 points. They got 20 kills in total already so far, but here's the kicker. 4 rivals from the bottom of the table, now they are second.
I know, right? So it's definitely the heat has got onto them. Probably somebody has bucked onto their ears and tell them. But you know what? It's still a long way to catch up with SFC. It's 45. It's like at least they have to play one full map in order to catch that number one. So as of now, it's hard to say who is going to be number one still, because if FSC, they got a too soon after this, meaning they got no points, they get the first team to be out, it could be painful one for them because they would probably not get any more points. But looking into Monkey, I think he would definitely get easily 10 points for the team like what we saw earlier. Yeah,
definitely. I think the challenge is not going into the win itself, it's winning consistently. That's the challenge, right, of PUBG.
Yeah. To win consistently, and I think a few of these teams today that we are seeing have showed us a good display of professional gameplay as of now, knowing that this is the Asia Esports Festival where we get to see all the different game platforms that is being displayed to you. And right now we are watching PUBG Mobile. It is a battle royale, first person and third person shooter game. So it's all about tacticality, and how they get information is literally by spotting each other out. You know, I know there are some gaming platforms where you are able to see, oh, how many people is in drop spot, in this hotspot and stuff. No, in PUBG Mobile, no such information. It's all on your ears and your eyes.
Yep, exactly. You have to be very attentive, and I think this is one of the things that makes this game very special, right? End of the day, I think you know, it really comes down to reactions. Sound cues are very important, both digitally as well as like physically, right? So this really plays onto your skill set as a person itself, understanding how it's going to be done, and you know, the flight is going to take place soon, but of course, you know, there's the boarding and landing, you have to get your luggage and all that. So it's going to take around 2 minutes or so for the players to get ready. In the meantime, right, thank you for joining us at Asia Esports Festival Online Cross-Border Challenge. So this event itself is participated by multiple teams across the region. We have 8 teams that are playing here for our PUBG tournament today. And of course, this wouldn't happen without the official tournament organizer. We are here at the gym, and you know, they have graced us for this venue, all the things that you're seeing here as well. Now, what are they playing for though?
They're playing for $200.
$200.
And the bragging rights.
Yeah, bragging rights as well. Okay, bragging rights is priceless, right? No matter how much money you want to buy, you can't buy it. So you really have to have the skill sets to do it. And so far, I think I'm liking the competition. I wouldn't say it's really neck and neck between all the teams, but all the different teams are really showing very high level of proficiency about their understanding for the game, right? What they should be doing at certain points. And I think the management of the area is what surprises me about the team today. The fact that they are able to lock out teams when they are in the inner circle is something very surprising to me, because we don't really see that in PUBG games, right? PUBG games is really, let's just go all in, get into the circle and we'll fight, we'll figure it out, right? But for teams here that are playing today, it's really calculated. They understand that this is a position that I should not lose, or this is a position that I have to contest, and that really sets things up to be very interesting for us.
You're right. And to be number one is also something that they would definitely want for, because it's definitely domination for Asia Esports Festival. So it's really something that you want to try to strive, and especially for teams who are currently bubbling under with the double digits. I think this is the time where they can actually catch up with SFC. Also, SFC might be highly targeted after this.
Yep, exactly. This is one of the things about Battle Royale, right? Sure, you can win many games, but that every win you get starts to paint a very strong circle around your backs, and that's like, okay, let's take out the champions first. And not only do they get the satisfaction of knocking the leader off the board, they can shake up the board. You know, we have seen teams. I have had teams where they were like, you know, we lost already. There's no chance for us, but let's shake up the table. And that's what the teams will be looking to do here, as our third map, Miramar, is going to be kick-started here.
Yep, as we fly onto the sandy dandy areas of Miramar, we start with the flight route over in Minas Desa all the way till Impala. Again, today's flight route is going and favoring into one area, if you see, Kin.
Yep,
like the first map was towards the, I think it was all the way to the east, and then Sandhawk is all the way to the east, and now all the way to the south. So probably that's why teams have been dropping closely with one another, because the flight route.
Yep, exactly. And that also influences the circle as well. And here we go, we're going to see TGR, one of my favorite teams so far out of this entire competition. They have been very consistent. Unfortunate that they didn't manage to clean up and finish where they wanted. But so far, very impressed with the teamwork across the team, as well as the concept of play. You know, they tried that triple or multiple heal strat, so it's looking like it's working out for them. But TGR are just a bit shy of being clinical on that final finish in the final field circle. So let's see, is this a game that TGR can bring it all back and get that win as well?
Yep, it's really hard to tell, but if they keep their consistency, it's not going to be impossible basically, because they have been top 3. The way their rotation has been on point, they know exactly where they're going. In fact, Po Heng, very luckily, he landed on towards M24, one of the best sniper bolt range that you can get. It is more painful, and of course this is not an airdrop loot, so this is one of the sniper guns that people would go for when it comes to this. But you know what, Mugen, I think this is a team that is going to go for a hot drop, and they managed to get into each other's crosshair, and Ares will get the first elimination.
Yep, I mean, we've seen quite a lot of consistent teams across the board for the first and second flights as well. So M42 definitely doing really well for themselves. Another team I want to mention is actually Limitless. They have been pretty consistent in their play. Once again, I think most of these teams, they are quite proficient. It's just the finish hasn't been top tier in terms of what they are expecting for themselves. And we're going to be taking a look at the next champions, right? So champions of Flight 2, 4 rivals here. DD already getting himself a couple of nice loots as well. No nades or smokes to talk about, and that's what we're hoping to see, right? That's going to be a very important utility for the teams here. We do expect them to play for the long haul, especially with a map as big as this. First smoke going to be picked up by DD, so that's good news for them.
I don't want to see exactly where the rotations of the teams are actually in the map, because it's really hard to tell right now. A few of these teams would probably go for that vehicles, but again, we all saw the flight route, so most of the teams would target the areas of where a vehicle would spawn. So if you guys are new to PUBG Mobile, there's actually an IO or a place for you to check exactly where the vehicles would spawn in, and most of these players have played many months and many years, so they know exactly to where the vehicle spawn would be. And looking into the flight route earlier, it's going into one space basically, so a whole lot of these vehicles is being targeted. And now it answered my question, and we can see the team that is currently in the same place. I think this is Picado, where Mugen is currently joining with PG VVIP.
Yep, and this could be our first skirmish of the map, because I think Shyam has an idea of where Mugen is, and at this point we can hear a bunch of the sound cues. Oh, first fight going to be happening here. YB going to be chunking a few shots down below. Very nice vantage point, but more importantly is getting that health advantage as well. YB very comfortable. I think the members of the team are around the area as well, so if there is a necessity for backup, they could have them turn this situation around.
I hope YB is careful enough, because Ares is also trying to lock into the area where two of their members from Mugen is pushing in, which is looking into Requiem and Nasty. They are pushing in together. Again, this is manpower advantage, plus using their skill sets, their mind at the same time playing this. And you know what? They are all into elimination points, because Nasty, he is not fully equipped yet. He's only with guns, no backpack. He don't care about that at all. He's just going to push in. Furthermore, only knowing that there's already a player inside here. So pushing himself, but oh, a knock here. He tanked a little bit of the damage, but that's not what he wants. Like I said, the focus is to actually eliminate this team that is currently sharing the same place.
Yep, oh, a nice few shots there. Can they get the trade? That's the question. PG, they haven't been performing that well across the board. Now with two members down, YB as well as Kapok, it is going to be Sham and APEC who is going to be responsible for the survival of the team.
Yep, and this is not going to look good, because they have been spotted from a distance. From Nasty, in fact, he actually tossed a grenade into the direction of Sham and also Kapok that he's able to see. So information itself is already vital for Nasty. He knows the location, so all he got to do is, he has 4 members, he got manpower, he can give this information. You know what, you flank here, you flank here.
What a big mistake though.
Yeah.
Nasty did not expect to do that at all. Going to be dropping all the way down to level 1. Thankfully, he has a couple of bandages to help heal himself up, as well as the pills. And oh, that's a nice one. Aris on the flank gets the two of them. So PG will be the first team that is out of play here. Going to be sent back to the lobby. And with that, Nasty, I think that was a good diversion, even for us.
You're right. Though there's one person still surviving, Sham. If I were him, I would try to quit, call it quits. Not gonna fire anymore, try to be passive. But I think Nasty can hear the footstep of this player, and he will go and hunt for this guy. I don't know if they know there's any more players, but Ares definitely didn't see that. Yep, he is still able to survive.
Yep. Like the Piranha here. Oh, Sham is making a mistake though. He will get the kill on Nasty, but the follow-up is here as well. Sham going to be in a 1v3 situation shortly. Oh, Sham.
Oh, what a move! Why did he do that? He could have just
kept quiet. Yep, he could have.
Well, at least he did get one elimination point if that was the entire plan. But though,
I mean, I think it's a lack of information, right? If he knew the rest of the members from Mugen were there, he probably would not have made that decision, that rash decision to really go in a 1v3. I think he was expecting with that vehicle movement that the rest of the team was actually out of the area already.
That was such a bummer, but anyways, I would say it's a good game for PG VIP. They definitely could have come in better with the lack of information, and I'm very sure he would have probably said, I should have stayed, but he would be happy. You know what, I get one elimination point. So anyways, this is Keen's favorite team currently, which is CGR, going to loot the huge area of Los Leones. And this is honestly huge. It's enough for 4 squads to be here to loot up, so they can stay here all they want. And looking into the circle, it's still going to be in these areas of the south. I didn't really see exactly where the circle kind of closed into, but it's very close to the flight route.
Yep, and I mean with 2 minutes left on the timer before this circle fully closes, most of these teams are very comfortable, comfortable with this position. I mean, TGR, they're very passive to me in the way that they play, but they're very calculative about the style that they play as well. While they may not be as aggressive, after that first mistake in Flight 1 where they got punished with that push, it looks like they are going to be in a prime position to be able to make it to be the top 5 teams at least so far.
Yeah, because of the consistency and the synergy that they've gotten with one another, and honestly I think they can do that. You know what, a little bit of information about this team. So this team is actually renamed. Before this they are called Steel Hearts, and Steel Hearts was our Season 1 champions of Singapore with Season 2. So they were once representative of the Tencent official games, and a few of these players are actually the OG members. One of the players is called Nafi. He has played for, this is Season 7, so 3 years, and he is still playing. So that's the reason why the knowledge and the consistency has been there for that player Nafi.
Yep. In a game of RNG, it's actually really hard to stay consistent because there are multiple things you can't control, right? So Of course, with that, I mean, you can mitigate and minimize the mistakes and increase your chances of victory if you know how to play around the RNG within PUBG itself. And it looks like M42, they will be scouring the map. Important that they all get their individual vehicles here. So 2 buggies installed for them. And if you take a look at that, 3 smokes already for Mal, which means this is a very good position to be in. They can take these long distance fights. They can kind of kite away and obscure vision from their opponents as well, which will be very vital during team fights.
Yep. But looking into M42, they are in the areas of Los Leones, the outskirts of the hills. Again, this is probably a pretty normal thing to do where teams go on towards the vantage point of the areas that they can use for the current circle. And looking at it, currently Mal is going to go for the hills of Los Leones. I think they got a little bit of the information that actually TGR is around the area because, like I said, Los Leones is huge. But the moment they see moving vehicles or hear one another, they are going to lock down so that they will not get out of the village.
Yeah, looks like they're going to be choosing to re-rotate and flank around the sides, and that's very important, right? You do not want to stay in an open area. And here's the thing about Miramar. Yes, it's a huge map, but more importantly, it's a very open map. If you're not within urban structure, you are going to be sitting duck across the mountains, especially when this game is prepped for you. This map is prepped for you to play long distance fights.
Yeah. And like what?
Oh, what is this?
They're just killing time.
Yep, having fun with each other here with the frying pans. I mean, it's just some fun that they have, right? No friendly fire anyway.
You know, actually, a frying pan is one of the deadliest weapons in PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, exactly. One frying pan to the head and you're out.
Yeah, yes. It's not even a knockout. It's a elimination point immediately. You know, there was one season in the official tournament of PUBG Mobile. It was between 2 teams. So it was basically which team got a chicken dinner. And that player were overpowered with 3 versus 1. So he ended with a frying pan on towards the opponent and got a chicken dinner. That was pretty epic, you know.
Having fun while getting the win as well. Oh, but it's going to be another fight here as Labo will be the first to fall as 4 rivals come back with vengeance as well. They took Flight 2, now they won Flight 3 as well. Labo will be the first one to fall across the team, and looks like M42 will be called to action.
Uh-oh, I see a crash here, and this is going to cause trouble. Will it be a second one for Art? Definitely a backup needs to come in because the entire 4 rivals is about to come into this area. Similarly to what is happening to M42, they were trying to rotate, met each other up, and now they are going to commit to this fight and going to throw a grenade, trying to knock out Mal, but he has moved on to the other side. So now this has gotten serious, and Art is the only man on the ground.
Yep, though the support might be coming from the teammates, they might be looking to snipe it out. But he is going to throw a nade out. More importantly is to get the sensing where they can push the members of M42 out into. Like we said, this is a very open map, so getting pushed in a position where sitting duck is not going to be something they're looking for. Mal, very good positioning here. I like the fact that he's hiding behind the urban structure instead of within it. And here we go, Mal, can he get anything done? It's a 1v3 at this point because the members of 4 rivals are here already. They do know where he is now. He's going to miss, and with a couple of shots, he has to make his way around it. Movement is very vital here. He needs to scour. This is a big building. And more importantly, he is not going to make it out safely. Going to get chunked down. A couple of shots landing on him already. Mal, oh, another nade. And it is looking so dangerous for him. Where is the rest of the team on M42 though?
Oh no, they are going to get sandwiched here. One by one gets tossed in by the grenade. They still have an assistant from the distance here. And you know what? The person left behind, Juggernaut, is also knocked. Currently, they are on the disadvantage is on towards Team 4 rivals because M42 will gather his men to push, leaving one behind is still vital for that. The same thing will happen here. None of the CQC, but that did not happen. But Art came in just on time to bring down Mal. Now left only Wedu from the distance here. Art will try to revive his teammate, though Juggernaut is still not at the back.
Yeah, but he has plenty of time here. So Mal gonna be trying and just crawl away, trying to get some distance back into his teammate here. It's vital that they revive as many of their players as possible, as Labo already did. So it's a 3-man squad with 2 men down. And this is the time where Reed probably could do it all here. Looks like he has the intention to try and save his teammate as well. But 4 rivals, I think they are pretty healthy already. DD should be up soon. Yes, he's heating up as well. He does get a glimpse of Yuno around the map, but oh, that was close.
That was a COVID or risky move indeed, but where do I wipe out? Like, let me pass back into the lobby because they kind of crashed into the spot. They took each other down, they showed each other the potential, but the true heroes will stand up on the grounds right now and drew into this. Even Juggernaut was vulnerable. It was just about synergy and timing, right, kid?
Yep, that was beautiful. Oh, but Juggernaut gets picked out by Virgil here. And with that, like you were mentioning, the vantage points work out in this game. So Juggernaut, the first to be taken out. But I think for rivals, they might not come back and take this fight, depending on how their health is like. Right now, Yuno is a bit low, slowly healing up as well. Once they are up, we could see them take another fight here. But Virgil does not want that to happen. He wants to take a couple of warning shots against Art here, and Art will slowly drive his way out.
Yep, this is a third-party engagement. You know, when there is shots and there are teams nearby, this is what happens. When you're loud, the moment you have a wipeout, get out of the area. You gotta do it fast because, especially in Miramar, don't care about the loot boxes. There's a whole lot of space to loot, and plus today's lobby, how many teams there is? So sometimes I don't understand the decision making by players, but again, this is how they display on how they are acting. This is why we need to watch AEF, and there you go, you know, we'll try to do a snipe with a car or Mosin.
Yep. This is important because they do know the existence of Yuno at this particular position, but if Yuno can snipe any one of them down, that will be an open marker for the rest of the team to really just dive in.
Yep, but I got a feeling this is going to be a good time to do a reset for both of these teams, as the both of them, they don't know the terrains yet. How many people are there here? They decided to park in and take the shot. So this is pretty risky situation. Don't be vulnerable. You know, exactly the decision here is very wise. They decided to, you know what, disengage, go on to another place. They need to know exactly who is here first before making that open fire. So both good decision making, but not good driving.
Yeah, very uncoordinated here. Sure, you can drive a Lambo, but I think you need a license for that as well. Supercars, you need a special license to drive supercars as well. And I think Virgil might have to go back for a couple of lessons. In the meantime, while we are not joking about the driving skills, they have made that decision to move away. Bear in mind, they are a three-man squad at this point because Nasty was taken out earlier in the game as well. They might run into another few teams. TGR, we have yet to see them fight it out. They might get the chance to fight against Virgil and the rest of his teammates here. In the meantime, on the sidelines, we have 888 as well around the corner. So this could spell disaster as, someone's getting shot at. Requiem suffering at the hands of, I believe, the members of TGR at the same time.
Yep, TGR, consistency is key, and they are guarding this with all their lives. So far, we have not seen exactly where the circle is, and that's a good thing because it's all up to us. We can kind of somewhat guess that the circle is in Los Leones, the biggest village of all in, I would say, PUBG Mobile itself. So this is actually a pretty difficult terrain to end with because there's a whole lot of buildings. It's all about your listening. You need to know exactly the steps of where the members are. And as we can see, this place is going to be heavily clustered with a lot of teams that's coming in. In fact, 888 has a better beginning for this map because they are currently still alive.
Suma already catches eyes on the members on the other side of Mugen here. And with that, he will start the skirmish. But more importantly is the rest of the members are rotating around the map, so this is vital for them. But they might get pincered in because while they have this very huge area that they're covering, there are a total of 3 teams in the vicinity. So Sukma has to be very careful because at this point, they could be taken out from the back.
Oh, yep, true enough. But Virgil here getting a little bit of that skirmish fights. Getting a little bit of damage actually, not a little bit, quite a lot. That's a third-party affair. We've got 888 in the story. We've got TGR also seeing each other's scopes. So, you know what, Mugen, you got to find a place to camp in. I'm sure they don't want to be here. They actually want to proceed on rotation, but because they were gunned down, they had no choice. They have to choose this warehouse as their current stay and fortress for a while. Yep,
it's unfortunate, and it's very painful to be pincered, right? In a very open map, that's the problem because you can have a kill, and that's what's going to happen because Kisma, I think, took a step too far forward, going to be knocked out, and with that Mugen gets a kill for themselves. They will even out the odds. It's going to be a 3-on-3, but Virgil, maybe that's a bit too far forward as he gets juked and sidestepped and going to be taken down with a flurry of bullets here. So it's not looking good for Mugen. They will continue to fight Sukma here. Gets a nice shot down, and with that, Requiem will be shortly taken out. Where is the last member on the side of Mugen here. Aries gonna be chunked down as well as Sukma completes that kill.
TGR got the last hit for Ares, so that was a third party that was successfully done. But if you guys are wondering what sound is that, it was an AUG, another airdrop weapon that most of these teams would go for. Groza, AUG, MG3, these are all the weapons, and you know what? Shots are still fired here, and this is coming from Triple H.
Yeah, Mario Boy, unfortunate, does not make it out. What a painful chase here as Art is gonna kill them off. And so Mario Boy gonna be taken out of the team. Now 2 of the members are driving around the vicinity. Po Heng is on his foot. The question is, can he figure something out? Because he is currently in a 1v3 situation, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, you're right. A 1v3 situation, but TGR will try to lose members along the way while rotating. And usually, when that happens, they are unlike like Mugen. You know, when one person goes down, they will push into that area. They will decide to rotate elsewhere, which is also a wise decision because it gives more time to reset and park themselves in a better place to be. But 4 Rebels coming into, they didn't expect to have to face one another, because I'm very sure they kind of rotated elsewhere from the fight that they had earlier. They did a reset, and now DD will just refine the footings, getting comfortable into this place. As you can see, it's not a vantage point. In fact, there will be teams that has a better looking. Looking into SFC, they are quite quiet right now, and this is quite scary.
Yep, exactly. When a team is too quiet and we're reaching, the 4th, 5th circle, that is not good for the rest of the opponents. We have 5 teams remaining, and with that, 4 rivals doing pretty well for themselves. Yes, they lost Juggernaut early in the game, but more importantly, Kizma gonna get a few shots here on No Limit, and the presence has been made known, and it looks like a few nice shots as well, Kizma.
Kizma rising from the graves. Triple H showing their strats here. Even though with 2 men left, I think they are able to still show and stop No Limit from coming in. Because right now they're gatekeeping. No Limit is trying to rotate into the circle, and this is really painful already. Nobody should be left outside. That's the reason why we are seeing TGR is also trying to find an exact place to be in. They still have manpower. They need to find a vantage space, but we can see the terrains right now is going towards downhill. So all of these teams, they get to play with the cliffs, a little bit of the terrains here and there, and going to get some covers and just wait for that circle to end. And they are at the perimeters of the circle, so I don't think they are going to look for any contentions.
Yeah, but this is beautiful because this 5th circle is so open. Yes, there are mounts that you can hide under, but more importantly, this is going to be a very dangerous situation for all the teams involved in this 5th circle.
Yep, and now I'm going, oh wow, you know what, SFC is right behind 4 rivals, and they are opening up. SFC definitely have seen some movements. I'm not sure if they're going to push, because it's pretty crucial that SFC get themselves into the circle right now, unless they want to do a crash in, because there's a lot of other vacancy. If you can see from the side there, they can enter into different areas, as none of the teams has actually occupied that. If they were to push in, they, hopefully it's a blessing in disguise if they get to finish that up. But yep, there you go, getting into SFC while doing rotation. So he made the first one, but there was a trade by Monkey.
Yep, Monkey, the MVP for me in the second flight. Now holding strong for his team as well. But manages to get the kill. And SFC, they have to be very careful because they might not know this, but TGR is around the corner as well. Monkey gonna be slowly shot at. None of the shots gonna be landing. It's gonna be a couple of whiffs in the meantime, but they have to run because this circle is extremely painful. No, where is the pickup there? Bing Bing gonna be left alone, or me in this case. And surprise! What? Welcome to Flight 3. Art is gonna get it done here. And with that, it's gonna be a trade though, because Monkey gonna trade out Art with Jamie. That money has been dropped. As SFC, they're left with 2 members, and Monkey is going to be having a heavy hitter on that nade. Going to be slowly but surely killed up at this point.
Oh, he threw it. Damn, that was a scary movement. That was like a stack fight. Another person towards another person. It's so scary.
Oh, TGR.
Oh, TGR on the other hand, third party towards 4 rival Art, now living with only the only man alive. He is still able to do a revival towards DD, but he got to make that decision wisely, because right now Circle is away from this team that is fighting right outside. So one of them has to survive, and now I see and I hear the push, and it's only vital that gets himself into the current circle. I'm not sure if he has enough time to do that since he's targeted by 2 areas here, but getting Monkey, he's on the ground right now. He just got to find one more man from SFC. But here we go, TGR having a fight with No Limit.
Yep, this is the best chance they've had since the first flight here. TGR could win it all. They are pretty healthy at this point. Oh no, but the heal is stopped here. Oh, very nicely done here. TGR, teamwork makes it work here, and they will successfully get that kill. As SFC Mei going to be taken out here shortly. Bunny is still being healed up by Nafi, and Nafi, I think, has to be very careful because the rest of the members on No Limit are scouring and searching for them. The heal comes in. Bunny, she is going to be safe and sound momentarily with the heals from the bandages as well as the healing kit, but the circle has started to close in. Nafi, they are on the outskirts of this circle, so No Limit. They know something's up, but do they know exactly where the rest of TGR are at? Limit. Oh, Claudia, no! Surrounded! And instantly knocked down here. And which means No Limit, they will be playing with 2 members instead.
Oh, this is a good time for TGR to do a push. Even though they don't get any of the circle, they are trying to squeeze in and now see one another and the drop and another one goes down. Daffy will not be able to make it. He is going to do and live without them. Now Bunny and Pohing is the only man alive. Paraman is up here with that machine gun in hand, and he will try to finish what he has already started. And this is a 2v2 affair. And who is going to take down? Is it going to be a clutch or not? Pohing is still going to fight it out.
Yep, they will get rid of Bunny here, but Pohing, he should know where Paraman is. Paraman showing himself here. 2v1, and it is going to be a closer. No Limit finally break through and get that winner chicken dinner.
Woo! Yep, with that 6 elimination point, Cherry on the top for No Limit. I think they have been trying their best ever since the first game started today. They rotated, keep on meeting teams to a surprise visit. Like finally, they got and locked themselves in the circle and got elimination points. So that was a worthy situation. But though, TGR consistency, again, top 3. Even though 3 elimination points, rotations and experience, it really matters in this game itself.
Yep, they really brought it all the way to the end, and No Limit finally breaks the limitations they have faced in Flight 1 and 2. So for Flight 3, they will be the champions, well, along with 6 eliminations. They should shake up the table at this point because SFC only getting 2 elims for themselves, and they are at 4th place.
My God, there's a lot to talk about, but definitely they will have a great shift. We will have a great shift of the scoreboard. Looking into new chicken dinner winners, will definitely spike up, give a little booster to teams who are not in the top 3 as of now. So the points really matters, elimination point matters too. So it really depends on who will get into top 3. But what I want to see is actually that number 1 spot, because SFC, even though they managed to get into number 4, they didn't have many elimination points.
Just 2, so they could be dropping. But bear in mind, 4 rivals as well came in after them at 5th place. So that could be a big contention and shaking of the board as well. Now, with that, I think the players, they definitely need a break as well. So we will be going for a break. When we're back, we will take a look at the 4th flight of the day, and we'll see who is going to be at the top of the table.
Sorry, I shouted. Because it was scary. You saw?
The jump in, the
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Asia Esports Festival, and this is the online cross-border challenge. We are watching the PUBG tournament, and you know what? It's the last map.
Yes, it is the final map, but before that, let's take a look at the standings of the game itself. Let's see who's all the way at the top. It is still SFC here, and they are going to be the top of the table at 55 points. Now, that is definitely a clear target on their backs. The rest of the teams do not want SFC to win, so they will be looking for them.
Yes, and it's really a tight battle. We can see here, it says less than 10 points of a difference we are looking into SFC currently, who is the leaderboards. They definitely want to be consistent for this round, and that's probably why that particular map we did see SFC was being a little bit passive. Because they know they are leading, they didn't want to go for early contentions, and you know what, after this is going to be a wrangle, so it's going to be the same kind of gameplay maybe, or some teams will go around to disturb other teams. As we can see in the board, there are still teams who is doing the domination in the sense of the elimination points, like Mugen, as for example. They are doing a whole lot of work, it's just that they couldn't get a good finishing.
Yep, exactly. And so with that being said, I think No Limit and 4 Rivals, they will be the ones that are super motivated to get the win. They will be looking and scouring the map for teams to kill, because at this point, your kill elimination points will be very vital. And along with that, they want to make sure that SFC is one of their first victims, because if SFC does not finish anywhere near the 3rd or 4th position, they would lose that #1 standing, I believe.
Yep. I don't know. Something tells me they're going to get chased down if they don't change the drop spot. So it really depends on how the strats is later. Also the flight route, because all the flights today we saw has been favored into one particular area, either the north, the east or the south. So far, yeah. So hopefully later we can see a middle flight route where everybody can go anywhere they want, and it's really unpredictable where they would see.
Yep, so with that, it looks like we should be able to get the game started very soon. But in the meantime, now Erangel, this is the OG map. This is the map that we all started with when we played PUBG, right? So this is going to be familiar faces, different kind of play style, but I think the teams will be hyper aggressive from the get-go.
Yep, definitely. I was a bit distracted with some actions happening in this studio. It looks like doing a TikTok dance. But anyways, we are going to fly in very soon with a wrangle. And again, we are going to see rotations, and a few teams will disturb other teams, knowing that, you know, we're already down and don't want to do a catch-up. They definitely want to disturb the teams that is trying to source out for more. And that definitely going to be wakening up the Kraken, we're saying, to all these teams that is currently on the top 3. So it is going to be a difficult kind of gameplay, at least for the last map. I'm very, very sure that it will last all the way till the 9th or the 8th circle. They're going to try hard for that.
Exactly. And the way that the teams have been playing has been shifting, right, from the first flight of the day. First flight, they were very, I won't say aggressive, but they tend to enter the circle a bit earlier, and they wanted to hold that vantage point and that area to make sure that they can see who else is coming, and they stop them from coming in. But as we progress later in towards now the 4th and final flight, most of the teams are playing on the outer rims of the circle. And that's going to be very exciting for us, because there is a very high possibility that teams will actually burn out from the circle damage as well. So it really comes down, do we see a change in mentality? Do we see teams that will go head into the circle first and hold that position? Or will they try again with this outer rim strategy and see if it works for them?
Yeah, right. So it's definitely going to outsmart one another, and hot drops probably will be avoided. I'm not so sure what's going to happen, because earlier in the first Erangel, we did see a hot drop with 2 teams inside. It was 888 and Mugen. And then now it really depends. I think 888 will decide to, you know, move elsewhere, because they had a good game in Miramar as compared to Sandhawk and Erangel.
Well, I mean, we could see. I think School and Pochinki is still going to be heavily contested, because this is the final flight, right? So it could be a winning strategy, right? If you have a very good start, it's hard to lose it. Especially with the stronger weapons, you have more utilities available for you. And of course, having a vehicle early on that's vital to you, this is something that I think will hugely impact the way that the players play, right? Getting the correct vehicles, being able to traverse the map properly, and trying to avoid death, right? Especially for SFC. They are going to be hyper passive. I'm very sure they're going to be very passive this game.
Yeah, you're right. And probably going to wait onto the vantage points of kills. Probably that's what they're going to do. But still, MVP, nonetheless, is Monkey. He has been giving tremendous work of 10 elimination points himself, so that itself is actually quite difficult, you know, when you don't have the chance to reload and he is still able to still eliminate with whatever bullets that he has left with. So honestly today I did see those these two players who has that signature move. One is Monkey, another one is Juggernaut over in Tambang areas. He managed to get within, I think it wasn't even a spray within that one magazine for that round.
Yeah, I mean, we've established very clearly throughout today that the players here today are very clinical. And, you know, with the previous flight itself, we had the surprise jump peak as well. And we are going to definitely expect that more, right? So this is a time where you can catch people off surprise. And that's going to be a huge situation and shift in momentum for a lot of the teams. Making sure that they're distracted. I think most of the teams now, they have experienced some form of distraction, right? Where they actually have one player who's coming in the front, but then suddenly 2 or 3 of the remainder of the teammates pop out and get a kill. And so we could see a bait and switch kind of play across the map of Erangel again.
You know what would be interesting? If the circle closes into the waters.
Oh yes, that will be very interesting.
It will be a whole lot of swimmers inside the waters because they can't do much unless, but of course I don't want to jinx it, you know.
Who knows, right? I mean, we don't really get that situation a lot of the time. So hopefully today, RNG, the RNG Jesus will bless us and we'll see whether we have any peculiar setups or scenarios that these players will be landed in, right? And it would be perfect if they land in the water because like that could be a situation where they land in hot soup. So.
Yeah, you're right. But we can't really tell which team has been domination or like show us the domineering factor. Most of them are showing when it comes to close counter combats, their firepower is amazing. They have shown each other how great it is. Of course, nonetheless, I would say the player that have shown that all that it's not a team, it's a player, it's just Monkey. So it's really hard to say that which team is actually the ones that is currently on top because all of them are equally good when it comes to firepower.
Yeah, but I think that's a surprising thing, right? I think in most games for PUBG, you actually have a very huge discrepancy between the top teams and the bottom teams as well. But today, yes, the standings reflect it in a very extreme way, right? But with that, actually all the teams are pretty much similar in terms of the way that they do their finish, they get the kills, the strategies they have. They're all very strong. It just so happens that some of them miss the mark just by a hair. So it's really unfortunate for them.
Exactly. So it's a good thing to know that this competitive scene is pretty much competitive, as you know, all the players can play. So we can see a great shift of different champions that is on top in different tournaments. But here we go. Take it away, Kin.
Yep, and with that, this is the 4th and final flight for today for our Asia Esports Festival Online Cross-Border Challenge. We are looking to see, can SFC hold on to this prime top position, or will No Limit or 4 rivals take it away from them?
Yep, and flight route again is favoring into one area. It's going towards southeast this time. Towards the choice of Sopnoska is available to everyone who wants to drop in.
Yep, and School and Pochinki is still available if they're really wanting to drop there. And it looks like they are considering that. SFC, surprising that they are going to be dropping nearby. They're going to be one of the first few teams. I mean, personally, if I'm FSC, I would probably drop later.
You're right. If you were playing Kin, where would you want to drop? Are you the kind that would go for aggro gameplay or passive gameplay for the first few circles, or you would go and seek for information where other teams are in?
I would drop as far as possible from anyone in the game to set myself up for proper loot, and then when I'm ready, then we'll go and fight.
That's actually a good set. You know, sometimes people say, you're not you're afraid, no, it's actually technicalities, right?
Yeah, man, brains over bronze.
It's not like, you just come in, even though this is a FPS game, it's not all about shooting. It uses a whole lot of mental in this. You know, you need to know the rotation, the timing of your teammates. It will affect if, let's say, one of your teammates decided to go on the vehicle first, and while the rest is still looting, and then when you get contested, you have no backup. So those are the things that comes along this line of PUBG Mobile.
Yep, so far we have not seen any of the teams manage to get a vehicle yet on the board, but shortly they should be able to. More importantly is getting that vital loot. So M42, they're going to be occupying this space, and looks like they will be getting quite a decent amount of loot. A level 2 vest, I think early game that's not too bad. We have seen cases where some of the players are super lucky with the RNG and they get level 3 equipment right off the bat. So we will see if luck is going to be a huge factor in this fourth and final flight for any of the teams.
I wonder where's SFC, honestly.
Yep, I would like to take a look at SFC and you know, perhaps we can take a look at the map as well and see where this potentially first circle could go and be set into.
Yeah, but I got a feeling we're not going to show much of the map because, you know, we don't want to let everybody knows exactly where the teams are in. But again, No Limit is showing that they are going to be happily in school because this is exactly where they dropped initially. So I would say this is their drop spot. But SFC, I have no idea, probably in Jogopol or Yasenaya. I remember the first fight they dropped all the way up in the north. So maybe they are there still. Some of these teams will not change their drop spot because, you know, everyone else, we don't really have many teams in the lobby. We only have 8 teams, so this is going to be a good time for them to loot and have a long gameplay because this is our last match.
Yep, exactly. And I think, you know, the reason why No Limit dropped in school is because they're super confident about this positioning. And I think they think it's worthwhile to take this huge risk where there is plenty of loot in school and to be able to fight out with any of the other members on the other side. We're going to see, I think that is SSC around the corner that is near to No Limit as well. So they could have dropped near school. Pink color, yeah, pink color if I'm not wrong should be SFC. So let's see, will they be taken out early game?
Oh, really depends on who gets first. But again, looting stage, nothing much to talk about. Oh, apparently that's PGVVIP around this area. Probably they are over in the areas of Rozog, which is very close to school right now. Yep, this is the area of Rozog, a few villages around for them to loot. Again, one of the popular areas to drop in. Not really a hot drop, but hot drop so far, if we can see, we don't hear anything coming from Mugan in the areas of Pochinki, so 888 definitely has chose a different place to drop in.
Yep, I think we kind of expected this as well. I mean, it's the two extremes, right? In the final game, do you really want to be hyper aggressive or do you want to be passive and, you know, just make it out towards the last stages of the game itself? And you can see four rivals, they're going to be very far away from the rest of the teams right now. And I like the fact that they are thinking like that. This increases the chance of their survivability and the ability to end up in the first place position as well. But the trade-off is that if you're super far away from everyone, there is a high chance you won't get any of the elimination kills as well. So that's one of the cons they have to consider about playing so far away from everyone.
Yep. Survival points, like how TGR has showed themselves that survival really matters because 3 maps consistently top 3 for TGR, so that's definitely a kudos job for being the wise man or the wise team amongst the rest here. But nothing else to see here, they are just going to loot away as the circle closes in, and we did see the circle, in fact it is in the areas of the east again. Northeast this time for the current circle, so teams will maneuver their way into the current circle, especially teams who are far-fetched off the current map. So yep, nothing much, and again, they are just going to loot away, getting whatever that is important. And I can see that Paraman is actually looking for the gasoline. He's probably packing up to do a great migration probably.
Yeah, so in this case, I mean, I think it's pretty lucky for most of the teams because this circle is pretty centralized across the map. So it's nothing too stressful and it sets us up for a banger of a late game, I presume. Because No Limit, I mean, the rest of the teams, they are pretty much looting, free looting across no contest, no fights, no skirmish. And this is gonna be a tough one because at this point, it means the fights will be dragged on because you have high armor, you have high survivability. And if you take a look at 888, they will be the first team to start traversing across the map. I believe they should be in the circle already, but now it's really about looking for places to set up camp and potentially lock out people who are late to the circle.
And I think this 888 is close by to M42, the areas of Milta, where they earlier drop in, and this is past 6 minutes, so usually 6 minutes is where team starts to do a rotation, and they will definitely need the gasoline and the fuel, for that great migration, exactly where they want to be. Even PGVVIP, they are going on towards the high portion of Rozok currently. they are finishing up this area to loot and going to go for that machine. So what that machine does is, as you go, every game platform, they have like little bills on the floor. So this is one of it. They are going to collect all that little tokens, and then what they can buy from that from the vending machine is like loot, like for example, some guns that you can't find, because there are some guns that a whole of these players would prefer to use. One of it is M4, an easy gun to actually tap onto. So if they can't find, they can always lean on to that vending machine.
Yep, so finance is also very important for these teams. As we see, there will be a couple of teams that will be moving around the map on foot, as we will have our first knockout here. Kisma are going to be taken out by the M42 team here, and 888, unfortunately, again, suffering at the hands of another team so early in the game.
Yep. They were close by of this area. 888 moved in towards the areas of M42, exactly where they dropped into Milta. So it's kind of expected to see that occurrence. But No Limit still is going to utilize these areas to loot as much as they can. They had the apartments, now going to pick up their teammate over in school and will proceed with rotation. Probably they're going to go on towards the northern parts of the current map. Again, most of these teams will try to take precedence in the vantage point.
Yeah, so far No Limit playing according to how they have been performing so far, which is to be safe and consistent. And 42 Labo here, we're going to have our eyes on him as they are going to be taking a look at Farm. So Farm, not exactly the best loots available, but there's a decent amount of loot that they can go and explore to try and get onto their hands. Right now we have the rest of the other teams here. Nasty going to be trying to get a good vantage point. I think he is alone at this point. Yep, he's going to be alone. Teammates are going to be coming up shortly, but he is achieving something better, which is to take a look at the other possible team and where they will be at. PG is the one that will be in his field of vision if they do make a showing of it.
Yep. He's definitely getting information before the push, knows exactly where to lock in, and they're currently trying to lock into PG VIP. This is pretty normal for Mugen. We did see how they kind of lock into teammates. It's pretty easy. They see someone from the distance, they open up and they cordon off the area. So this is one of the tactical things that we are significantly seeing from the team of Mugen itself on how they lock on towards target. And true enough, he's going to barge in and not going to care about the movements at all. You know what? They have got themselves locked already. Somebody is up there.
Yeah, shot fire here as they are possibly the first team that will get eliminated. And if you take a look at the map around this flank, it's crazy. They are locking them all around in the map here. As the rest of the team, Seal, Requiem, going to be chunking them down. He's going to be very aggressive with his movement. At the same time, Virgil is on the back lines. He has eyes on Capo here. Can he actually get the kill? Not going to hit any of the shots so far, but you can feel the pressure mounting.
Uh-oh, whiffing the shots here, but Nasty managed to get one person. Sham again, unfortunately vulnerable, but that was a trade-off. Another trade is happening here. Sham is going to go down by Requiem, and he's going to be vulnerable. Uh-oh, still vulnerable right now. You don't go for assistance like that without information. Now they are outnumbered. With that, Capo is going to be the next one to be vulnerable. No, and he will try to do that and try to go up. That's really a bad decision making. No, don't do that.
Yeah, Virgil going to be responsible. All he has to do is to hit a couple of the shots, but it looks like the team needs a backup because Nasty. Oh no, he doesn't need it. He's gonna clean the rest of PG up here. So the remaining two members, Karpok and Gapek is going to be left here. They're going to drop the smoke down, but Virgil is happy to just let it rain on them.
Oh dear, this is not looking good right now for the team of PCB. They gotta move somewhere. Kapog is the next one to be so vulnerable, no smokes at all. And this is going to leave Apek only alone on that sniper tower, and this is not good looking for PGVVIP. They were definitely locked down. They couldn't react to the situation, and you know what? A push is happening. This is going to be the end.
And Requiem will push in as well, and that should be the end. The first team to get eliminated. Oh, Apek! Oh, unfortunately, he did not manage to do anything much here. Will be successfully taken down, so they will be the first squad that's eliminated from our final and fourth flight.
Uh-oh. But I'm not sure if No Limit is in this area because they were initially from school, but no more, I guess. If this was, they were still in, they could have been a third party. It could have worked out perfectly for No Limit. But there was a good push by Mugen, how they locked down the opponents from left and right, and they managed to finish the fight within less than 3 minutes, I would say. It's really a proper way to push. And you know what? Nasty has that deadly weapon, MG3. So that gun, when you shoot a vehicle, you don't have to spray. Just a few taps, you will get exploded. So that's the reason why they actually go for this kind of airdrops, the kind of guns that is available inside.
Yeah, I'm super impressed with this flank. I mean, they literally created a circle around them. And M42 though, they will get that Kobe onto No Limit. If I'm not wrong, that should be Paraman, and Paraman is the first one to be taken down. So it looks like the rest of the teams, they will be successful in heading towards the second circle. It should start to close in a matter of seconds here, 5 seconds and counting. In the meantime, No Limit being pincered in by M42, and here comes the push. They are so aggressive, but someone that has been taken down is going to be a full frontal charge here, and they will get the kill on Cluck.
Yep, they got that, but Dreluk will be safe still. He has the option to do a passive gameplay, or he will return the fire, but it seems like he will choose the shed. I'm not sure if this is a wise decision. You can run while you... Oh, he's actually setting up a trap.
Yeah, we have seen this situation already, right? So, not having information and going for a surprise kill is the last thing you should do, because one of the players got punished heavily. I believe it should be No Limit that actually pulled this off against another team. If I'm not wrong, it should be PG. So they are definitely going to learn from their mistakes, not going to engage in unnecessary gunfire on the side of M42. And looks like Nico is stuck here in the ravine. How's your driving? Oh, Nico.
That's another way to get around it actually, but I'm not sure. Probably he has to learn. But anyways, here we go, looking into them, looking for Dreluk. Where could you be? But if they do find him, he has set a trap, so he will shoot the gasoline that he laid down there already, and it will create the elimination immediately. Oh, it's on fire! That was a smart move, but not smart enough because 2 came on time. Yep, there you go. That was exactly what he wanted to do.
Well, no limits indeed, no limits to their deaths, so No Limit will be taken out, which means they are not in the contention for that first place any longer. Sorry, oh my goodness, Virgil gets taken out here. Where is the rest of the team though? As he is looking like a Lone Ranger, the rest of the members are on the other side of that skirmish here, as Aries is going to try and make life difficult for TGR here. Looks like the call is to leave the space. Virgil still alive for the moment. He needs to have something happen. And Nasty throwing a couple of nades, but he's so low as well. Where's the rest of it? TGR! Mario Boy gets taken out, but Nasty immediately traded. And with this is looking like the end for them. TGR, can they actually do it? Requiem, successful in taking another member down. Po Heng going to be traded immediately, but it is looking like a 2v2 situation here. Requiem is very low. He needs to chill up and get that pack as well.
Okay, this is an equal battle right now. Looking into it. Oh no, you know what? Now it's only left for Nafi. Initially there was only 2 men for him, but one by one goes down, and it's left for him to do a CQC with that rain time. No, 2 guns onto 1. Painful shots with that Bison. Back to the lobby for TGR. Unfortunately for this last game, the consistency for TGR has to end.
Yep, it was faulty for them. They definitely faltered with that. So TGR are going to be the 3rd team that's taken out, leaving us with 5 champions hopeful, right? And bear in mind, SFC still alive, and we have 4 rivals still alive as well. So these the 2 champions are still in the contention to take first place, but SFC already inching closer to secure that first place winner chicken dinner.
Where is SFC, man? Oh my god, I have no idea where they are. They are so passive right now. I didn't see their kill feeds and names at all. They are really... He had a great fall, like from the vehicle.
Unfortunate.
SFC, they're taking on to 4 rival. This is a fight I would definitely want to see, because these 2 teams have met one another somewhere else in the map. Oh, it's a It's a long distance shot. Now, this is a third party affair. We are looking into M42, eyeing onto Forever. Also, SFC just got somebody knocked somewhere there. M42 will try to find another way to come in because, again, they are in the open, very vulnerable for them to actually open the target. Similarly to Four Rivals, all of them are in the open, none of them is in a compound area. So, again, this is pretty much difficult for teams that is currently scattered around. Probably SFC was making rotations. They did not want to open fire. That's the reason why you're not seeing them anymore in the radar.
Yep, M42 though, they are going to be the game changers for sure. If they get this kill on Four Rivals, that is the end for their attempt. And SFC will likely be the champions unless someone can shake it up. Monkey gets another kill, the MVP of the game so far. As SFC, they have this, they know, they smell it, you know, left all alone, less than half health. Juggernaut gonna come in and get the support in as well. But the shots are being fired. Ping Ping here, trying to make it work for SFC. They know it. This is the fight of their life.
What are the odds? Two different teams. They are all trying to get into number one with less than 10 points away. Everybody has the eye on the prize and that bragging rights. SFC is guarding their fortress like, you know, there's no tomorrow. This is the chance for them. They are tapping on towards areas where they thought there could be people. That is how much of inferior they are in right now.
Yep, exactly. And SFC, this is critical because, like I said, this win for them would be phenomenal. This is the game for them. If they can take out Four Rivals, that's it. They should win the game.
Yep, you're right. But this is a chance still. I thought there was people floating in the air, but no. It was just a tower. And this is actually pretty risky because Juggernaut has no idea that somebody is there. I don't know if this is actually a decent choice for him to be in. But there you go, shots are fired. Now Buggy is pretty much targeted. But he was third party by SFC, also by 888 at that tower. So this is a risky move right now. Four Rivals need to know where to be because they are currently in the open, don't know where to go. They are just rotating blindly right now as they get shots across.
Yeah, DD though, right in the open. That was not the position to be in with the Buggy as well. Art already making it out so far. And with that, you know, left all alone. Oh, but SFC, someone is getting low as well. I think it's Ping Ping or Mimi. Someone is falling low. Mei Mei actually. And with that 2v1, you know, can he actually make it out? Oh, beautiful! He dodges it. The nice jukes as well. And with that, you know, will be taken down.
Yo, that was a cut off by the camera there, but you know will not survive, only living with DD and Art here, who is currently being tapped aimlessly from the tower. So that wasn't a good situation as of now, but you know what, M42 will decide to crash into the areas of SFC. And this is not really good for M42 or SFC either, because 888, they have a prime position.
Yep, and here we go, M42, they are going to be pincering SFC, but in the meantime, 888 joins the party as well. Can they make it work? I think 888 just has to be patient. They will try and chunk down the members of M42. And here we go, first one to fall on M42. Mao is going to be the first one to fall. And here we go, where is the rest of it? Sugma actually responsible for the kill. Chico going to get rid of Monkey as well. SFC is falling apart for them. They are going to be running around, but M42!
Oh! It's a clutch! It is a clutch! 2 on 1. He goes down. Now M42, one person left. And this is not really looking good. 888 is taking advantage of this entire situation. They are doing a kill steal here. Though M42 had a goofy moment where I think Mal, he accidentally grenaded himself earlier. So that's kind of like a, you know, it stops the push. That's the reason why one by one went down. Information was leaking. Now only Chico left and he is the only person to do justice for the team. But SFC smartly planned themselves already outskirts here, trying to take each other down.
Yep, exactly. And the way they have spread themselves across the map is highly important because you do not want to have all your eggs in one basket, and that's exactly what they're doing here on the side of Four Rivals here. They will be left with just 2 members, and Mei Mei will be the next one to fall with a fist to the face here by M42, and with that, SFC, 2 members already down with Mimi and Ping Ping left alone.
Oh dear, this is not looking good because Mugen is still about to come in. They have the manpower advantage. They have 3 men still alive. There you go. They will be parked on the peak, and this will cause disturbance for a lot of these teams. And you know what, 4 Rivals, they have been targeted from a lot of angles. A lot of people have seen them, the people from the tower, and then now from the areas of SFC itself. So I don't know how are they going to get away from things. They are still just going to do a survival game, looking at the minimal chance of survival, looking at, I don't think they might get the circle, so this is really a tricky situation. Though M42 still standing strong together with Mugen on the other hand. They still have the space here, but Puma trying to land the shots from that towers. They have gotten down to the village, so an advantage also for them.
Yeah, 4 Rivals though, I mean the stories about them. They are on their last legs here because 888 still going strong, just 3 members alive, but at the same time, SFC also suffering at the hands of M42. M42, if I'm not wrong, all 4 members are up and should be healthy very soon. Yup, Nico already firing some warning shots along with that buggy trip from his teammate as well.
Oh, there you go. Now M42 will plant themselves right outside, have gotten themselves out of that vulnerable area. I think 888 is trying to get into also pushing their way inside. They have no idea where to go, but yep, that was a wheelie right on top of his teammate. Already kind of parked in, trying to lock down 888, but 888, one of the members managed to get away swiftly, no problem with that. And everybody else will just wait for one another. And also to keep in mind, we still have Mugen at the back, waiting for everybody to engage.
Yeah, Puma, very beautiful play. He is going to distract the rest of the members on the side of M42. In the meantime, 4 Rivals still surviving. No, right as I say that, DD going to be taken down. And with that, Puma as well successfully taken down by Requiem. So Seal and M42 doing very well for themselves, as 888 will be eliminated shortly here, dying by fire of that zone. DD, the next one to fall. Is that the end of 4 Rivals? No, Art is the only one left. The one with the lifeline for his team to potentially be that first place.
How is he not able to see that? Maybe it was just here. He did see Labu somehow, but no, I think Labu is going to see him first. And this is going to be the... Oh, this is such a vulnerable place to be, but Art will not get to be in the circle, so no more 4 Rival. It's still going to be SFC, the champion for today. And they are still going to give the elimination points and survival points as we speak. At the same time, M42 managed to get to the circle. Again, Mugen freely, no problem.
Oh, Bing Bing going to be taken down with a surprise shot by Labo, and this could spell the end for them. Is this the end of their lifeline here in this 4th and final flight? I'm not sure, but M42, they want to make sure that that's the end. And here we go, Bing Bing going to be getting a flurry of shots to the face. I think that should be the end of SFC, because Mimi is left with less than half his health and will be successfully taken down as well by Mugen. And with that, we're left with 2 teams, Mugen as well as M42, playing for it all in this 4th and final flight.
Nice one there, but again, head to head right now. M42 versus Mugen. They are sharing the same areas. Oh, I think it's almost the same kind of survivals. Maybe manpower advantage belongs to M42 with 3. But Mugen still had the chance to survive. No worries with that. You know, they're cleverly rotating, doing an unorthodox movements here. I think M42 is able to see the buggy rotation for Requiem.
Yep, Nico and Labo, the ones nearby, especially the last player as well. If I'm not wrong, it should be Chico. And here we go. So this is it, 2v3 to shake up the leaderboards. Can they do it?
Really waiting for one another to pick. Just nothing else to be done here. Chico will try to go for that airdrop. I think it seems like he's going to move himself in even nearer.
Yeah, set up the distraction play, I believe. The smokes will kind of obscure vision and kind of make you think that the players are there. Chico, you can see slowly crawling to the side, and he is inching closer and closer to the side of Mugen. In the meantime, Labo going to be using that smoke as well, adding onto it, if I'm not wrong, and going to be traversing this very, very small and close to final circle. It is the 7th circle. It will start closing in a matter of seconds, as it is going to start closing now. 3v2. Everyone is keeping extremely quiet. Aries wants to maintain this position around the rock, but because this is such an open and flat area, it is just a matter of time before they figure out where the members of Mugen are.
But this is pretty risky because Mugen will lock them out. M42 is trying to get into the circle. They got just a kiss of that perimeter. So it's really painful for them. There you go. And Requiem and Ares will do a tremendous job in keeping and locking the targets because they are literally at the perimeters. The one that got the circle is actually Requiem. And true enough, Kin, we have reached almost the 9th circle for the last game.
Yeah, we were expecting a late game and we were expecting a super late game at that, and that's exactly what we got. But it is even more tense because it's a 2v3. It's not even an equal fight. We could see Mugen pull up the surprise and finish off this tournament with a win.
You're right, because since they got the circle and there's no chance for M42 to come in. I mean, even with land power advantage, they are not opening fires.
Oh, Chico!
Oh, that was a bait actually. But Ares, with that shot like a sharpshooter, managed to get one person back into, and he will get the second one because the zone is going to be hurting right now. No chance for Mal to get in. This is going to be really difficult for M42. Two of them is already down. We already kind of know who's the winner.
Yep, it's gonna 2v1. We could see a surprise here. Nico on the last standings, on his last legs as well. Gonna rotate, goes for the 2v1. He actually knocks down Ares. The last 1v1, can he do it now? Oh, it is gonna be Mugen who gets rid of the last member of M42. You know, and they will be the champions now with 13 kills to their name.
Yep, that was definitely a creepy, sneaky last game with that last circle. But that was really, I don't know. I would say the surprise was spoiled in a sense. I would want to see SFC coming to the last few circles. Yes, they got number 3, but I would wish they would have fought at least for the last 2 teams. But unfortunately for them, they were gunned down early. Again, the circle had a heavy shift. A lot of teams had a surprise. So again, also unfortunately for AAA, they had a prime position. They didn't take precedence out of it because they only got 1 elimination point. Even though they got the Ensire, the eagle eye in the sky, they could have gotten a lot of shots, but a whole lot of them was whiffed it.
Yeah, unfortunate for them, but AAA, they make a very impressive finish here with the 5th place finish in the 4th and final flight itself. More impressively is that 2v1 situation. I mean, it could have been all for M42 on Nico, I think, who was the last player in that skirmish itself. But of course, Mugen getting it done here with 13 eliminations to their name. Now the question is, does SFC get that championship with this scoreline? And I mean, based on our thought process and what we have seen, our math is pretty strong, I guess.
Yeah. I got a feeling there might be a change of positions also because Mugen, they have quite a lot of elimination points and they got a chicken dinner. So probably they might shift into top 3. A lot of things can happen because No Limit had a too soon, right? Without elimination points. But Forever's did stay also. I'm not sure how many elimination points they've got so far. But yeah, there's definitely going to be a change of era in this sense. But yep, that was what we saw. Though, we might see the next MVP. It's actually Requiem, 7 elimination points.
Yep, exactly. And I mean, with that heartbreak for No Limit, they finished 7th here, which means they will have their position shifted.
Yep.
And of course, in 4th position, it is going to be 4 rivals, right? I mean, 4 rivals to get 4th place.
Yeah.
So let's see. Yep, let's see if the final score is what we predicted it to be. I mean, we're expecting SFC. I think it's more or less a guarantee they're going to be champions, right? But more importantly is who is going to secure the 2nd and 3rd placing.
Yep. A heavy shift definitely. Probably Mugen has a chance to chase still because they had the greater elimination points before this. So with the booster of these chicken dinner and elimination points that they carried, maybe even they are at number 2 even.
Yep, so while our math is fast, let's see whether our production team has better math than us as they count the scoreline for us at this point. In the meantime, thank you for joining us for this Asia Esports Festival Online Cross-Border Challenge. Now, what you've witnessed today is the competition between teams across the region. So we have Singapore, we have Malaysia as well. I'm not sure if any of the other teams from the other regions are participating today, but nonetheless, of course, we have seen some very sick plays, very scary plays as well, right? With the Scream in Flight 3. And consistency, I believe, is the name of the game. All these teams are quite evenly matched. It's a very even flight process I've seen. 4 rounds, we have had 1 chicken dinner for a different team every flight.
Yeah, you're right. It's a different... Like I said, this scene is a bit competitive where we can't really tell who is the most, like giving the most firepower or which team is domination, giving that domineering effect. No, because all of them are equal in that sense. They have their firepower, they have their skills, they have tacticality. So we can't really tell who's the best of them all.
I mean, I'm very impressed with Mugen because this gameplay at the start of the game with that circle around the team, I think it was PG, on the tower itself. That was insane.
The way they locked them down, right?
Yep, exactly. And you know, finishing off with that last kill as well, I was fully prepared for PG to just take out the Heartstopper and kill one of the members, but they actually survived with all 4 members, almost at least to the end where they were left with 2v3 situation, and they still, I think they were the ones with 2 members. Yeah, they were the ones with 2 members, and they actually managed to edge it out against the 3-member from M42.
Yep, but we did see a whole lot of pushes that was being done, and definitely the push did happen for some of these teams successfully. Rotation-wise, a team that has consistently showed us that kind of rotations was TGR, unfortunately being cordoned off at the last map, so yeah.
Yep, so with that, I think we can take a look at the standings itself. Let's see what we have for our champions of today. It is still going to be SFC, going to be taking a commanding lead here of 9 points at 68 total points with 25 kills as well. Mugen shifted up and they are going to be finishing 2nd place with 59 points in total. The highest kill score in the game.
Yep, highest kill score definitely for Mugen itself. Shifting at number 2, exactly what I predicted because of that last finishing they got, that chicken dinner kind of do that heavy shift for them up there. And for Rebels at number 3, shifting down 1 position. Before this they were at number 2. Blur Sotong is TGR actually at number 4. No Limit at number 5. Sit very closely with TGR's score so far. M42, last few teams kind of made it alive earlier at number 6 with 37. Baba Bowie at number 7 with 36, and PG VVIP at number 11.
Yeah, PG, I mean, granted the score is 11.
Yeah.
It takes away from them how they've performed throughout this entire competition, and actually they are very strong. I think the way that they have played across the games itself, the 4 flights, have been quite impressive. It's just unfortunate they could not get the finishing touches on the kills itself. So once again, congratulations to SFC, who will top this competition, get access to that $200. And of course, thank you for joining us for this Asia Esports Festival Online Cross-Border Challenge. You have been with us. My name is Kindofu. With me is Sis Jenny. And with that, you know, we will see you for the next edition.
Yep, and see you around. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Keep gaming.